I think what we need is the Blue Chew competition that I joked about a while ago.
Yes.
Where we all, like, take a Blue Chew as their sponsor, and this will be the only time they ever sponsor us if they ever do. And for the bit, we watch, like, gay porn, and then whoever gets hard first is who we make fun of.
Schweiss, we know the answer because you're the one suggesting we should all wear diapers and watch gay porn.
I think it's hilarious, dude.
I'm sure you think it's hilarious.
Like,
he's just rock hard. He's rocking a 4-inch stiffy, and he's like, "Come on, guys, this is hilarious."
This is hilarious.
Oh, I got to put this at the end of the show now.
It's so funny.
Isn't it so funny? Wouldn't it be great if we all stripped down to nothing? Except for a little bit of underwear, and we just see who gets a boner.
Underwear with it we shit in, ideally.
This gay porn I pulled out of my closet here. We can all watch it together. Wouldn't that be fun?
All right, guys, we're all going to watch Hot Horny Guys 6.
Oh, man.
Come on, guys, for the bit.
It's for the joke.
So funny, guys. It'll be great. It'll be great if we do this experiment for this audio podcast.
No one would see it. He's just fucking, he's erect and we're all like scared. He's like, it's just a prank, bro.
Schweiss, your door's locked. How can I get out?
Fulgrim says brought to you by Fruit of the Loom.
Yeah, real funny.
Oh, you know it'd be a really funny joke if we sucked each other's dicks in 69 position. Whoever gets hard first.
Yeah. Whoever doesn't choke on the dick is the gay one.
And it'll be funny.
Because you're used to it, you know? Yeah, everybody try it on me first.
You're like goats. I can see the tears in your eyes right now.
Oh, man.
You're like goatsing your ass. You're like, come on, guys, it'll be funny. Someone fuck me in the ass.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be hilarious?
Wouldn't it be funny if one of you guys like accidentally fucked me in the ass right now, dude? Come on. Who's so funny? Come on. We all took Blue Chew. We're all getting hard. Come on. Wait, if we all took Blue Chew, we'd all get hard anyway. So how would we measure this?
I mean, that's the joke. That's part of the joke.
Just three or four guys in diapers, completely erect, trying to figure out who's the gayest. What a great joke! What a great comedy bit. We should sell this to SNL.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God. Well, if that's not making the best of 2023, then I'm a monkey's uncle.
Please leave a message after the tone.
You've got several questions due. Your life is going down the tubes. What do you do when you need advice? Swear it gets good. Good night.
What am I fighting for?
So turn down the lights, pick up the phone and leave a message for the new crowd.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
What was that?
What the fuck was that, Schweiss?
What are you talking about?
Because I don't think anyone else is going to be able to hear this listening to the podcast because the song is playing, but just, for us, it's quiet, so all we're just hearing is you just heavily breathing.
And then you got a nice little moan.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just getting too fat, I guess.
Are you getting sloppy toppy under the table? Like what?
I'm just getting too fat, so it sounds like I'm like jerking off my little micro peen all the time. That's just
I guess.
what happens.
I guess. Yeah, it's like a thing when you get fat. Just be glad you're not Craig, because every time he like breathes really loudly while idle, he's like, dude.
Have you heard the nose whistle though? A couple episodes of Caleb Craig with the nose whistle, and I love how much you can hear the nose whistle when you put the compressor on the voice in post production. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, not on the show today, Caleb Craig.
Not on the show.
Hasn't been on the show for years, but who's counting?
Yeah. Anyway, so today, guys, we have an After Dark prepared, I suppose, for you guys.
Who are you?
I am
Because we
Caleb.
kind of interrupted the intro.
I'm Caleb.
I'm Joe.
I'm A4.
And
Zach isn't here.
yeah, Zach is elsewhere. He's
on the Lolita Express right now.
We finally, I made good on all my threats over multiplayer gaming and sent ice to his house, so he has returned to the homeland.
We did this exact joke like a month ago when he was
did we
gone
really?
for 2 weeks in a
Oh,
row.
shit.
Yeah. Except this time he really did go to Mexico.
He
so-
did, yeah. He did go to Mexico on his own free will, though. He wasn't dragged. Unfortunately,
We don't know that.
Yeah, I mean maybe. So he'll be back.
By the way, thank
Next
you,
time.
Smug Holo, for gifting 5 tier 1 subs to the community.
Yeah, I appreciate it. We don't even stream anymore except for these
The
episodes.
hype train is close.
Fringe also subscribed.
Yes.
Wow, thanks,
Fringe has
guys.
been going for a while, for like 40 months or something.
Yeah, Fringe, man.
I just re-listened to the Fringe Philosopher episode today. Got a few good clips out of there
Nice.
for just my own collections.
Yeah, your own little.
Nothing.
I'd also like to.
No project or anything.
No, nobody would.
I would also like
who
to
else
say
would
that,
help you with such a thing? Honestly.
Apparently, fucking no one.
Yeah, I mean, you know what you're dealing with here? We don't listen to podcasts. We don't do things.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ. Jesus. This is why I don't start projects with people that I went to high school with.
Hey,
done.
I never went to high school with you. You would never
I would also
start
like
a
to,
project with me.
Truthseek in the chat said, finally joined the Discord. Everything makes way more sense now. I thought Truthseek was in the Discord before this, but maybe I'm just stupid.
Maybe. I had to mute it because
He seeks truth.
I was told that I spent too much time on my phone by my wife.
Yeah.
And now, like,
And
whenever
right, you
I get
muted it.
on, it's like there's a million things. But
You muted it right before everyone was like, hey, and then they tag you. It's like the Prince of Persia episode
Yeah.
ends halfway through.
Yeah, that's not great. And no one else told me
Yeah.
until like
I kind of
way
just assumed
later.
you saw it.
Assumed you would fucking see
I
the
mean,
fucking
normally-
message that someone put there before I noticed it.
Normally I would. You're right. I would have been the first one to see that and be like, I'll get to it. But I would have been the first
Yeah,
one to see
I
it
like
and then
how
procrastinate
Schweiss-
it.
What are you doing on your phone exactly? Because you don't fucking answer messages. You you don't answer the phone when I call.
I look. I browse. I don't
Like
respond.
what the fuck?
He's just playing.
There's one of two things going on. One, you're doing something on your phone that's really dumb for way too long, and it's not anything to do with our shows because that's impossible. Or your wife is a scary tyrant, and we're just fighting out through this.
No, I think it was a day where I was just looking it through like Facebook or something. Like I don't really do that very often, but like for some reason I had started to do it a bunch. And then she got mad. But it's like, to me it's funny because I'll be like, "Oh, I want to show you this song." And then suddenly like a freaking TikTok video will start playing and I was like, "I wanted to show you this, not that." Or like we'll be watching our show, I'll be like, "Oh," she's like, "Oh, you're not gonna go work out today, we're gonna watch our show." And then I hear her phone, and I'm like, "What the fuck? Are we watching your show or am I listening to your phone?" So yeah, it is a little ridiculous. These goddamn women, they get on to me about my phone, and I'm like, my phone? My phone's dead half the time. How the fuck am I supposed to be on my phone when it's out in the car charging?
As the show's resident misogynist, I'd like to say
It
that
sounds like Schweiss. There was just the one time
Yeah.
she wanted your attention, and you were on the phone,
Yeah,
and
probably.
it seemed like a bigger deal than it actually was.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I should probably unmute all the
Not
things.
to psychology jazz.
Yeah.
As the show's resident misogynist, I will say women don't actually watch television. That's why all of like TV and movies right now is so bad, because it's made for women who put it on and then immediately go through their phone and start scrolling through TikTok instead of actually watching the thing that's on the TV.
It's not. You're not wrong. Completely.
A4, you're not.
I never am.
You're not wrong.
It's
And
not.
here's-
It's
now-
not a show.
well-
It's background noise.
Yeah, exactly.
A4, you're not wrong. This is the history of television. You ready for this? Is the medium. The medium differences between television and movies. Okay, movies are meant to be watched even if it comes out on Netflix or whatever. The filmmaker probably, I'm not saying always, but probably set out to make something where you are stuck at the movie theater and are expected to be watching it the whole time. So a movie will tell a lot of its exposition purely visually in a way where if you look away, you will miss shit that's important. Probably. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, television, on the other hand, is the complete opposite. And they say, in movies, the directors are the author. And I have problems with these theories, but this is what they say. In movies, the directors are the author. In television, the writer is the author, and on the stage, the actor is the author. The writer being the author in TV really just means a whole lot of dialogue, expositionary dialogue, where you could, and we're talking about then and we're talking about now, do laundry while having the TV on in the background and not miss anything important. So all of the good information about the storytelling is actually in the dialogue. Now, so when you're saying that, yeah, TV, most television, in and of it, like the medium itself was birthed out of, you don't actually need to watch every second of this thing. So,
You're just talking about soap operas.
no, I'm just talking about television as a whole.
Yeah. Now though,
You'll hear it.
Now there's HBO.
Now, okay, so watch it. Just, and I'm not talking about movies that are television like Marvel, but I'm talking about like
Or television that are
watch a
movies, which is
movie.
like all the prestige drama stuff.
watch a movie, and that's something new that
Those are
television's
good.
doing.
Those are ones that you have to watch.
So
Nah.
watch a movie and then watch an episode of Friends, and you're just gonna notice like how much did they have to say. Like every single bit of plot is always in the dialogue in those things. Like 99% of the exposition of a plot in a television show from like the 90s is in the dialogue. So it's just a difference between the medium. So although what you were saying is a super asshole thing to say, there is a kernel of truth there in which the two mediums are very different from each other. So when people are like, when people rope in movies and TV as a movie guy, I'm just like, oh, stop
Yeah.
it. Stop it, you're wrong. Stop.
Fulgrim in the chat says such a Ross thing to say there, Joe.
I don't know what that means.
It's from Friends. Ross is from Friends.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we don't.
Friends
I've
is
never
not as good
watched
as Seinfeld,
Friends.
sorry.
I've never watched Friends.
I
I'm
haven't
gonna
really
watch-
watched Friends either, but I know Ross is a character on
I
Friends.
would watch Jennifer Aniston, but I
Not Courtney Cox? Courtney Cox is also a fucking cutie.
Courtney Cox is the better looking one. I don't get the Jennifer Aniston hype.
I don't know. I mean, now she has old hands, so
What the fuck?
The point to what I was
old.
saying earlier, Joe,
Old
was not to
hands.
disparage movies
That's what I
instead of
love in a woman.
TV. It was to
Looking at
disparage
her
women because they don't actually
Old
watch anything.
hands.
They just want to have background noise on, and then they flip through their fucking phone.
It is
That's all
kind
it
of
is.
that's kind of what my wife does, yeah, and it's annoying. I'm like, Kate, I don't like shows that are that way. Like, if it's not good enough for me to watch, like sit and watch, I don't want to do it. Like, I'm not.
Well,
gonna
what kind of
spend the
shows
time.
are? What kind of shows are you watching with her anyway? Like fucking.
We watched
what's
The
one,
Last of
like
Us.
Love Is Blind, or
We watched The Last of Us, and that was good. It could have been better, but it was good. Okay, Game of Thrones is a good one. You watch that. I mean, we try to have poker nights with Game of Thrones, and half the time we're not even playing. Like, we're watching the show, or like we're drinking and like trying to play a game of Risk, but we don't finish the game because we're watching the show because it's a good show. We've done that. Like right now, we're watching. It's called Big Love. It's like a polygamous show. I think she's sending me like, messages, subliminal messaging.
Isn't this like the 9th polygamous show that you guys have watched
That
together?
she's
All I've
watched.
heard is polygamous shows.
I've watched.
well,
a
when
little
when
bit.
that's the only thing when that's the only thing they have on Netflix anymore.
I'm sure they're hiring down here in Cedar City. You can find your people.
I want if I want. Look, I can't have any more kids.
If you want your wife to dress like she's like made of a carpet.
I just wanted to dress like I treat her, like the carpet that I wipe my shoes off on.
If you want her to look like, you know that scene in Gone with the Wind where she gets the curtains and she makes the dress out of it? Just like do that with a carpet.
Yeah.
And you pretty much have the fashion style of the polygamists in southern Utah.
Yeah.
Anytime I think of, I don't know what they're like in Utah, but anytime I think of polygamy, I think of there was like a news story where it was like one really fat bitch and like 4 really skinny white cucky guys that were like all fucking her, and apparently like. The one guy was like really angry because the other guy had a baby with her and he like beat the shit out of the baby or something. It's like a really tragic story, but like every time I hear polygamy, I just think of like this one rotund woman surrounded by these 4 white nerdy guys.
It's just a pull of gravity. It's science.
They're like, I tried to get out, but I can't. I can't get out.
Also, Fulgrim in the chat says no love for horseface Phoebe. Phoebe's cute in her own like quirky way, but she's definitely like the fallback girl. Like when you can't get with the other two.
Cox.
I don't remember their name. Yeah, if you can't get with the other two, then it's like I'll go for Phoebe. She'll probably let me hit it because she's like borderline retarded, but it's all good.
Yeah.
What? That's like her character.
Let me look at Courtney Cox. I only know the way. The look, I only know by face like 2 of the people in that show, and one of them.
Oh yeah, Darth Troyerman. By the way, Phoebe would totally fuck your brains out. Holy shit, she's definitely a freak in the sheets.
These are all like old. She's looking kind of old now. Yeah, she's
Courtney Cox 90s.
Oh yeah, she's pretty. Yeah, she's pretty attractive. That hair is terrible.
Cool.
But... Yeah, it's a good pod. Oh, that one. She's pretty hot. All right, fine. She's probably hotter than Jennifer Aniston. Look, Jennifer Aniston is just one of those, like, always a 7, Like, you get the ones that curdle like milk eventually. And she's getting kind of old, but she still looks pretty good for being old. But you can always tell by their hands. They got old hands. You can't hide the hands.
This is, once again, the podcast of ugly men making fun of beautiful women.
I'm not making fun of anybody.
Speak for yourself, dude. Someone like 2 shows ago said I was the pretty boy, so I don't want to hear this coming from you, that I'm ugly.
I just got a bad camera, that's all.
I would be so less ugly if I wasn't in 480p right now.
Yeah. If I was on a good 720, 15 feet away, I'd look great.
You'd be able to see all 17 hair follicles on my head, and you would change your mind immediately.
That's right. That is fun. It is fun to judge women. Look, I mean, I don't know. It's not their fault. I mean, every other species of creature, the women are all the frumps, It's the dudes
it's
that
not their fault. It's not their fault. You're right. It's not their fault, Schweiss.
I like how I said I'm the resident misogynist, and then Schweiss is like, yeah, but every other species, the women are all busted anyway. So
they are. Like,
fine.
look at the peacocks, the fucking ugly ass brown, like just frumpy looking fuckers are all the women, and the dudes are like, check it out. Look at these sweet colors. Isn't this fucking cool? And the chicks are all like just fucking like puddles of gross. They just look terrible.
I don't know. I'm not going to comment. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
What do we got? Questions?
What has everybody been playing?
Oh, yeah. We're going to do this like normal.
I mean, we would do it anyway. We would ask what we're playing anyway.
Yeah, that's true. We've been doing that for a while. I have been playing... I played some Call of Duty Black Ops Zombies again for a long time the other night. Quite a long time. I think I finished my GoldenEye movie at like 4:30 in the morning. So I played until then with all the kids because I got a second copy of it. And my wife has a PS3, so I cracked that out and we did a LAN party. So it was me, my brother-in-law, and then Jace and Nicholas, and we were all playing zombies, 4-player co-op. It was pretty fun.
How loud was that house?
It was louder than it should have been at that hour. I'll tell you that. But because Jace,
it sounds like fun though.
Jace is not a quiet child, so
Yeah, but also your brother-in-law is also one of the loudest people I've ever
Yeah.
been around as well.
Yeah, he's like crinitol.
Dude,
there's no volume. He's kind of
A4.
loud, guys.
Schweiss's wife is
So quiet.
so quiet.
Right.
Her family, which I have spent now 2 days with in my life, the loudest fucking people on the fucking planet, dude.
Yeah.
So fucking loud. And they're like loud and schizophrenic.
Like angry.
Almost. Like, yeah, they just go like, the emotions are up and down. It just depends on who is talking.
Tell you what.
The emotions are up and down. People are like screaming, yelling, running, like, dude, everything, dude. It is such a like an energy shift. And like seeing Schweiss's wife is so mellow. And I'm not even saying in comparison. She is a pretty like mellow person in general. I've never I've even like with Schweiss as a husband, like you'd think you'd scream at him. And she has so much opportunity and reason to do so, and yet it's so level-headed. I don't know how she came out of that.
Tell you what. Put her family in a room with me for 15 minutes. I'll talk over all of them. Don't worry.
Try. Fucking try.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy.
Also,
Even
Strike
Joe
Knight
is,
in the chat.
is put down. Like Joe can't.
Strike Knight in the chat says family of full of Bill Burrs.
Yeah. None of them are that funny.
Only in the loud part. Yeah. I don't know how to describe it. You would just have to be in a room with them for an hour, and you'll just find out.
It's pretty crazy. I mean, I'm like a.
I thought I had a loud family, but
No.
dude, I can't even. That surprised me. I was like, I can't even compare.
Yeah. I mean, I just had a mom that yelled all the time. That's all. I don't think my sisters were super loud or anything. And I am kind of the quiet one too, so, which is weird. But like, I'm the one that like acknowledges that there's other people that exist, you know. So I'm like, hey, we should probably be a little quieter right now. Like, hey, we really don't need to be yelling. It's like
You have
2
like a
a.m.
1% empathy meter, and sometimes it fills up a little bit.
Yeah, it's like I don't want to have to
Yeah.
fight the next door neighbor. I don't know if I'll win, so we're gonna have to be a little quieter. Like, I have done that. Like there was somebody who was blasting music at that place that had that gym that we got like super jacked. The one over by the Walmart. There was somebody one day who was just blasting music, and I could not sleep. And I fucking like went to their door, dude.
And it was Ghost.
Yeah, I was like, "What is that horrible fucking sound?" That just
And you were like, normally this would put me to sleep, but right now it's waking me up.
Yeah, it is not as intended. Like this is my doctor told me when I got put on sleeping pills, don't listen to Ghost after you take these, or you'll never wake up. They'll put you into such a deep sleep, your heart just fucking stops. But yeah, no, I don't know. Yeah, it's weird though. But like those guys are loud, man.
Dude, that's
Like,
it is incredible. It's incredible how loud it is.
Yeah.
And like you're like I don't even think Jace is necessarily the loudest. I don't know, man.
No,
like,
he's
as
probably
a
not,
conglomerate,
yeah.
I think he's like middle ground.
He's mid tier. He's mid, which is crazy.
Well, he adopted. I'm assuming he adopted some of the meekness, right?
Yeah, maybe.
No, I had to beat it into him.
Well, spit out my fucking drink there.
You don't adopt that. He adopted it via the back of my hand. It was administered. Yeah.
This is learned behavior.
Yeah. Learned.
Learn!
Yeah.
All right. Sorry for that diatribe.
Yeah, it is true though. It's like it is crazy. I don't, man. Any of those others like
Dude, I mean, here's the problem, Schweiss. I'm super fucking loud. I have hearing loss, so I make up for it. Like, I have tinnitus all goddamn day long.
Yeah.
And I am talking over my tinnitus in order to hear myself. I listen to music, and I had to explain this to my girlfriend. I was like, look, my girlfriend, she sings along to everything in the car, too. But she, like, sings at, like, a very quiet level. Like, but I'm, like, No, I'm projected to an audience. The music needs to be cranked so loud so that I am mixed at the same volume level as the singer coming out at me.
Yeah.
So it has always been that way, and I think will always be that way until I can no longer hear.
Yeah. Which is coming.
So as a person, I know I'm loud, but when my ears are hurting because there's like two people having a really, really intense conversation 20 feet away from me, like, you know, that there's like, I don't know. My gauge, I guess, is just, it's gone off the charts at that point. Like, I don't know what loud
and
is.
you're nervous because you're like, man, is this going to get violent? Like, what's going to happen here?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I have hearing loss as much as you, but I am starting to get, sometimes I'll get ringing in my ears when it's super quiet. So it's starting to happen, which is, I'm not surprised because, I mean, I've been to a lot of concerts and I've been to, it's been years though. And
I've had it since I was like a teenager,
Stop.
dude.
Stop.
Sorry. My hand itches, bro. It's dry as fuck.
Get some
They make
fucking
lotions
lotion.
for this.
No, if I get lotion on my hand, I'm going to have to start masturbating under the table.
Try aloe vera then. I don't know.
I love the smell of aloe vera makes me horny.
They have unscented aloe vera. I got it at Target. It's fine.
But I know what it should smell like, and that makes me hot too.
All right.
Anyway, lots of Call of Duty Black Ops, and then I think according to the walkthrough on IGN, I'm like a third of the way through Ocarina, but some of those areas are pretty small, so I don't.
What
know
was the
for
last
sure.
dungeon you did?
I did the I think it was the Dodongo or whatever the fuck it is. That was
Like
the
the
last
second dungeon?
Yeah, it was only like the second dungeon, and now
Careful,
I'm
we'll
going.
get kicked off of Twitch for that kind of language.
Yeah.
I can't wait to bomb some Dodongos. Yeah, you're like maybe a fifth through the game. I don't know.
Okay. I did that, and then I think I've moved to. I'm doing some side stuff as well. Like I know there's some other things that I can unlock because I passed by some things that I couldn't get into, and so I'm grabbing some of the extra hearts and things like that. And like occasionally I'll break out the guide. In that cave, there was a spot where I thought I could. There was like a part where you can blow a rock up with the bomb, and I thought I had to grab one of the plant bombs and then run all the way across, throw it up the ledge, climb the ledge, and then chuck it over. But apparently I just needed to unlock the ability to carry bombs.
Yeah, you get the bomb bag in Dodongo's cavern, right?
Yeah. So I got it later, and I was like, oh, fuck. So I looked up a guide for that because I could not figure out how to get it there, and it's because I wasn't supposed to. But
To answer Fulgrim in the chat, by the way, I think Majora is on the list of games to play.
yeah, it is. It's my next
is.
game.
Yeah, along with Twilight Princess. So
Yeah.
we will be
we're
playing a bunch of Zelda
The
games.
Zelda
on the lead up.
podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, right up to the end. And then the penultimate game is played and reviewed in theory.
Shin Megami Tensei? Because the penultimate and ultimate are two different things.
Well, whichever one is bigger.
I was going to say, you're probably thinking of Conan, which is not the penultimate one.
Yeah, that's the cap, the night cap for the pod right there. Conan Exiles. I didn't play that, unfortunately, but I did play. What else did I play? There was something. Oh yeah, I played 007 Legends on the PS3.
Okay. Okay. ¿Por qué?
Well, Jace wanted to play one of the 007 games that I bought.
Play Nightfire.
Yeah, Legends is not. The problem with Legends is there's no bots, and just a 2-man like PvP with kind of clunky controls is not very
What
fun.
the fuck?
So
What
you
the fuck
lost.
kind of
I did
what
lose.
kind of James
actually.
Bond game after GoldenEye comes out with no bots? That's ridiculous.
A lot of them, apparently. Like Nightfire and the PS2 era, that might be the last of the bots. I'm not sure, but when I looked online, that's what I was reading. I was reading some Reddit article where someone was like, "Yeah, this is why everybody still loves Nightfire because you can play with bots." And I'm like, "Yeah, it was awesome. It was a lot of fun." But I don't have a. I mean, I guess I could have played Nightfire, But I want to get a multi-tap and get some 4-man Nightfire going again.
There was a really... I don't remember who did it, but there was a really good YouTube video about like the importance of bots in FPS games.
It's
I want to say it was Super Bunny Hop that did it, but I can't remember.
It's oddly you don't realize how much you need it until the game's online servers go down, and then it's okay, well now it's just 2 of us, so what the fuck?
I think even then he was talking about games. I think even then in the video he was talking about games that didn't necessarily have online, like GoldenEye or Time Splitters 2 and stuff like that.
Yeah. I should have played Nightfire, but I didn't. I wanted to play the newest one because of good graphics and just to see how it was. I mean, I heard it was a horror show, and they canceled the Bond game after that because of how
Is
bad.
Legends the newest one?
Yeah, and it's not that new. But they are working on a new one that's TBA, so that's kind of exciting.
James Bond Legacy.
The Bond games are actually pretty good. Like Nightfire single player is it's actually pretty awesome, dude. I finished that game and it was sweet. Like you go to space and yeah, it was good. That's about all I remember. But nice. It was it's like an unofficial. It's not even based on any of the stories or anything like that. It's just a Pierce Brosnan. James Bond
it's based
adventure.
on Pierce Brosnan's face.
Yeah, it's just based exclusively on his face. Here's why he looks.
I'll tell you what.
Way.
Going back and playing GoldenEye on the N64 controller on the Switch is fucking weird because like there's no control setup that lets me like move and strafe with the thumbstick and then look with the C buttons. It's like I can strafe with the C buttons and move forward and back with the stick, but then the stick also turns left and right. Whereas like I look up and down with the C buttons and it's just like half of the controls are like here and half of them are here, and it's like my brain doesn't gel with that. And there's like no control scheme that's like analog for like what we know now is like the modern FPS controls on that game, which sucks.
There's no
unless you have a
controls.
unless you have a second N64 controller, which I don't. So
well, or a third hand, so you could truly grasp the
no.
controller
There's like a bunch of settings in GoldenEye where you can have 2 N64 controllers, and I guess use both thumbsticks, then use both the triggers for different actions and whatnot.
What
but
the fuck?
Yeah, for real. I don't know, because I guess they just assumed that people were playing GoldenEye back in the day, that you probably had 2 N64 controllers lying around. I don't, because it's the Switch version. So,
all right, we've got 20 man hours to program this.
What you got to remember too? You got to remember too. This was really before like first-person shooter controls on like console had been codified in the way that they are. Like I think the first game that really got the controls down as we know them today was Aliens Resurrection on PS1, but then like it didn't really hit its stride until Halo. So.
Yeah, if you want true horror show, play Medal of Honor Frontline on classic controls. That's like, dude, I was playing on easy and I could almost not even storm the beach at Normandy.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was
play a Spec Ops game from the PS1.
Oh God,
it's like, oh God, why would they do that? Circle a shoot? Like, what is wrong with you? What the fuck?
It was probably 1997, and they didn't know better.
Well, what did they think the triggers were for? Like, I wonder if the PlayStation guys are like, are all these people just fucking idiots? Like, duh, trigger, shoot. This is the shoot button. Like, why is X the shoot button? You fucking idiots. Okay,
you have to remember too that like the triggers were like the secondary buttons back then. Like the face buttons were the main thing. Like we also didn't have the triggers like we did like in the first Xbox or the GameCube, where like they had give to them, like they were analog. Where they had like a degree of movement to them, where that really more emulates a trigger than say the PS1's L1 and R1 buttons.
Yeah, that's
or L2
true.
and R2.
That GameCube one is so dumb. It's the only one on that side too.
What do you mean?
Like man, I swear to God, it's like the
GameCube's triggers are great. They have give to them, but they have a nice little click at the very end.
No, I know, but one of them has 2 and one of them has 1. I swear to God, it's like
just because the Z button's on the one side.
Yeah, I swear Nintendo. The new thing I've come up with is like they make a controller and then they leave it out in the sun until it turns into like controller soup, and then they release that. So like the fucking L2 button like melted and slid down underneath the controller, and that's what became the button down there. And they're like, yeah, let's keep it.
It's just because it's the Z button. It's not like another L or R button. It's just like in a really weird spot.
I fucking know, man.
Nintendo cuck.
Yeah. Shut the fuck up.
I'm one of the few people that will go on record saying the GameCube controller is fucking weird, and I'm not really a huge fan of its design.
The most normal controller they ever had.
It is actually.
No, the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, the Super NES is pretty.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're talking post disc.
Post 4-button fucking controller. What does that have?
They made the Super Nintendo controller, which is the fucking like the template for like all modern controllers going forward, except for all of Nintendo's, where they were like, "Here's our new gimmick. It's a Trident, or it's the GameCube controller where everything is asymmetrical, or it's the Wii where it's actually kind of perfect, but we don't have the motion control technology to make it like work the way that we promised it would." Or it's the Wii U where it's just a fucking iPad with a bunch of buttons on it that's like at the lowest resolution possible. But
Dude,
the most breakable thing ever, which is the Switch controller.
Yeah,
just
that little sound is actually it breaking. That like the Switch sound that they like do.
The little click, yeah.
Yeah, that's the sound of it snapping on the inside. That's what they don't tell.
I had some fun finding controllers this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you were messaging us about that.
I decided, I was like, here's the deal. My girlfriend's coming over a lot on the weekends, and I still have shit to do. And I'm kind of like going back and forth. Like, I kind of need to do shit, and I kind of don't have any money. So, like, what's something we could do? And she kind of, I can't remember who suggested it was me or her. It was like, what's something she could do that, or we could do that like wouldn't cost that much money. And I was like, well, I have all these. And she's like, we could play a game. You have to play games all the time. And I'm like, okay.
Not games.
But then
I
I was
want
like,
to play, though.
then I was like, well, here's the thing. I don't have any multiplayer games with couch co-op. Period. And I only have I have each of these systems. I only had one controller. I literally have a system of each of the new like stuff. Xbox S, the fucking Switch, and then the PlayStation 5. And
to be fair, the Switch,
now
the Joy-Cons are
the
separate
Switch
controllers.
does have, if you it does have the Monopoly piece version of two controllers that you could play if you so desired. But I didn't desire that, so I had to go to Walmart. And I've been hearing all this fucking talk about these pro controllers and all these wireless controllers. Dude, I went to the Walmart and it was fucking nothing. There was nothing. There was nothing called a pro controller. There was nothing called a wireless controller. They only had wired controllers. And then I was in a panic going like, I have not seen a port anywhere on that thing ever, except for the charging port. I'm like, if I get one wired controller, can I use another wired controller? Like, what the fuck's going on? They're so cheap, too. They were like $24 or something for these wired controllers.
Yeah.
And I was like, I tried to get into the Nude Clan chat. I was like, call a Drew. I was going on Google. I was like, and then I did like, I was able to do it through Google. That's not where I went first because I'm an idiot. And then, so yeah, there are actually two USB ports on the Switch in which you can have wired, much cheaper controllers that you can buy for the Switch. And they are like 20-foot cords. They're pretty fucking
nice.
long. So it reached just fine from the wall to my couch. And yeah, I got a wired controller now that's in the GameCube version, because the GameCube, again, the most normal controller that Nintendo ever put out. I have the GameCube version of the Switch controller, and I did buy Mario Kart 8.
Oh, nice.
So I was like, you know what? If I do this, if I play this enough, it will be worth the investment. Because it's like a $60 game, $25 controller. Like,
that game is a shitload of content already, like on the cartridge alone.
yeah.
So yeah, you got plenty of stuff to do.
Is there co-op on Chocobo GP? I don't actually know.
I fucking have no idea. I forgot that was on there. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you
guess,
got that.
I guess I do have that game.
We paid like $50
Because I
for it.
didn't-
We paid out the nose for that fucking game, dude.
Yeah, we paid out the nose for 5 levels.
Yeah, for a day. The day we played
Yeah.
it. And then the
was great.
half
You
day
could
we
also-
played the previous one.
You could also look up a video or like a list of like good co-op Switch games, because there's plenty of them.
The
like Snipper
Rabbids
clips.
Mario Rabbids game is pretty fun.
I think I'm
know
good
that's
for
co-op,
now.
though.
This is my investment. I need to get my money out of this investment before I buy another fucking game.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying for next time.
Man,
there's
isn't it
plenty
cool
of-
to have games like for fun? You know, Isn't that
Yeah.
cool? That's a
It was
cool idea.
nice.
It's a cool idea.
It was nice.
You know?
And what was great was that it took us an hour and a half to go find the thing. And then because she lives like an hour away and she's living like she just when she comes over on the weekend, she's like there for the weekend. So we got to play for about 30 minutes and then I had to go run for 4 hours. It was like, see you later. Then I went and did my marathon training. So it was great. But in the future, I'm sure we'll have more time to play some Mario Kart 8. It's there. I have everything for it.
Yeah, and you know, and Alex, I get in trouble for doing 3-hour workouts. Ridiculous. She'd be like, you're lucky I'm not marathon training for 4 hours.
I'm a slow ass runner. That's fair. I did 18 miles last Sunday, and the Sunday before that, and it was a rough 18 miles. It was not an easy 18 miles. So it would have been like 3.5 hours had it been like a good day, but it was a rough time. It was hot. Whenever it's hot, I can't run as fast. I'm just kind of like just going along, trying to get as much water as humanly possible. Every time I stop for a water break, like that's time. I haven't invested in flasks, so I always have like the backpack with the water bottle. So like every half hour is when I pull the liter of water out and I drink half a liter and then I continue on. So I don't stop, but I just walk at that point to drink the water. It slows me the fuck down. It's really bad. That's what I should have probably invested in, but I didn't. I bought a video game.
Yeah, but you bought the video game to play with your significant other. That's a good investment regardless. Like,
Sure. Yeah.
it can be. I'm just saying, like,
No, I agree.
yeah.
What else you play twice?
Let's see those Ocarina Zombies. That I think that's about it. I haven't really been playing that many video games.
What are you waiting on, Twice?
I don't know, man.
What the fuck are you waiting on?
Okay,
Seriously,
I just
what
don't
the
have-
fuck are you waiting on?
I just don't. I don't know, man. I'm like just living my life without playing video games all the time. It's just weird. I'm okay with it. I'm okay waking up, hanging out with the family, working out, going to work, coming back, going to sleep, waking up, doing it again.
You fucking quitter.
Yeah, I mean, I have been playing, a good amount of Ocarina, but I'm sure you'll probably beat it before me because your plan is to finish 2 games before 16, right?
I want to at least finish Ocarina of Time.
Okay.
I don't know if I'll be able to finish the 40-hour Twilight Princess.
You don't have to do
I could.
Majora's, do you?
I could if I played 3 hours a day.
Yeah.
No, it was 3.5 hours a day. But no, I don't have to play Majora's. I literally have 3 games left for this podcast.
That's insane.
Yeah, it took. I switched some priorities, man, and that's made a huge difference in fucking destroying shit. I might as well talk about what I've been playing since I already went on the Mario
Yeah, go ahead.
Kart. So I played Mario Kart, and then I played just a little bit of God of War. Last week, I had a lot of stuff going on with the movie, and I couldn't play that much God of War, which really ticked me off because I thought I would beat it 2 weeks ago, but just things kept on coming up. They kept on coming up, and then, so I ended up beating it Sunday. By the way.
Nice.
Oops, I accidentally beat it.
Spoilers.
Yeah. But yeah. That's all I've been playing, I think, is Mario. And then I booted up the Wii. I was terrified up until half an hour ago when I put the Wii in my main TV in the living room, and the picture was fuzzy and in black and white, and I kept on plugging and unplugging and all this stuff, trying to fix it. Nothing was happening. As we were waiting for Caleb to get here to record today, I was like, you know what? I'm going to try my other TV. And it worked. Thank God. So I will be able to play Ocarina of Time through the Wii, which I already bought the goddamn game. I don't have to pay $50 for the fucking Nintendo N64 thing to play Ocarina of Time on, and I'll be able to play Twilight Princess on the same machine. So the Wii has now been set up here in this room 4 feet away from me, ready to go for my next 2 games, which are Zelda related. Just related. They're not Zelda games.
I mean, you wouldn't have to pay $50 for the N64 thing on the Switch. You'd only have to pay another $30, I think, because you're already paying for the other one for Super Metroid. So, I mean,
the other one, it gave me the monthly option. So
okay,
I only paid like the 1 month and then canceled it.
Oh, all right. Well, there you go.
And then the other one, when I went in to go pay for the thing, it was like $50 or die. And I was like, what the fuck? I was willing to just pay like $15 for a month and then go fuck off like I did before, but whatever. And then I was like, you know what? I already bought this fucking game years ago and never played it. So it's on here. It's on my Wii.
Have you started it yet?
No, not really.
It's not as
He put his name in.
I did put my name in.
Oh, good. It's not as like you're gonna get lost as I thought it would be, honestly.
I've played up until I don't know, just like after like to the Mount Gulg or whatever.
Yeah, that's
how
Death
far I've
Mountain?
gotten before. Death Mountain, maybe.
That's where I mean I don't know if I've been. That's where my area is. That's where I'm at, kind of.
You go through the tree, and then you go to the village, and then you go to the mountain.
Yes.
And that's as far as I've gone. Like
Yeah,
twice.
I'm a little past
You got
that.
like maybe a fifth through the game.
Yeah.
I got through a fifth of the game before.
So there at the beginning there are
Shit.
three jewels you have to get from
That's
3
further
different
than I thought.
dungeons. Then you get to do the thing where you go forward in time, and then there's 6 more dungeons you have to do after that, where you get 6 different crests. And then you fight the final boss.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And that's basically that's what like Link to the Past did, and that's also like what every Zelda game has done. Like Twilight Princess kind of does the same thing too. It's like we got to find these 3 things, and then you get the Master Sword. Now we got to find these 4 things or whatever. It's basically Zelda did that like from Link to the Past all the way up to Breath of the Wild. It was
Yeah.
like that general structure.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's interesting seeing like flack for games that were considered the greatest of all time up until like I blinked and then suddenly people have different opinions. But one of those is Ocarina of Time, and the other one is Twilight Princess. Twilight Princess probably worse so, like over time, like people.
I'm not really giving it flack. It's just that like a lot of the
Gone
games
backwards on it.
had the exact same like quest structure for close to 20 years.
Well, I'm just curious why opinions change on something that it was so unanimous before. You know.
I mean,
It's just one of those curiosities. I'm not saying people are wrong. I'm just,
Right.
as a person who's just like looking at this from the outside, now having, watched this thing from a decade, like the narrative of this game or the public's perception of this game, person, subject, movie, whatever, change over time. It's always really interesting to me. Like, the art hasn't changed whatsoever. Like, the game is still the same fucking game. So
Yeah.
what has changed our perception of that game?
just better games coming out. But like I still really like. I think Ocarina of Time is a fantastic game and a really really solid entry in that franchise. It's just that like once Breath of the Wild came out and sort of changed the paradigm, that was kind of a thing where like, oh shit, Zelda games can be more than just this. But I mean, Ocarina of Time was big when it came out because it was just doing the thing that Link to the Past did, just in 3D and with like the whole scope that comes with that, as opposed to being like a top-down 2D game like the original Zelda and Link to the Past. So, yeah.
I've always heard it as it's either this or Link to the Past are the best Zelda games, right? And then when Twilight
for the
Princess
longest time,
came
yeah.
out, it was like, oh, this is third place. And then as time goes on, it's like the one everybody hated, Wind Waker, is suddenly like now this like great classic. And then the other games have shifted down, and then like, oh, what is it? Majora's Mask has now gone up as well, like shot the fuck up. And
So
it's just
with-
weird. It's just so weird to see that just as like maybe as like an amateur armchair sociologist, just watching this from the outside, going like, what the fuck is happening here? Like,
Right.
what is this human quality we have in like our thing where we need to like reassess things and then shift them around.
It's usually a case by case.
And it was
basis.
an old game though. When I was a teenager, it was already an old game. It's not like it was a new game. So like it had been, I would have thought, assessed,
settled. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
it's kind of like people shifting Citizen Kane as not the greatest.
I mean,
film
you
of
get
all time
apologists.
after 6 decades of it being considered the greatest film of all time.
It's
like one of those
it's
things.
people like
It's
my old roommate Dwayne, like arguing that Rey's story is as compelling as Luke's story in the original Star Wars. Like people are just insane. Like they'll just say things that make no sense and have zero basis in reality, and just you can't fight it, man. He's made of Teflon, man.
What'll be
bounces off.
interesting
It's
though,
nothing touches him.
I think I don't know if that's so much the argument. It would be like if in 20 years someone held that opinion.
I can't
think
imagine having that opinion after watching the movie.
Oh, I can't imagine people thinking the prologues, the prequels, as being good movies.
No,
Right.
And people do.
it's a really cool
It's
idea.
insane.
It's a really cool idea. Like it's a really really cool idea. But damn, it is not executed well at all. Like the idea of like the good guys became so powerful they became bad. Like that's a really bitchin' idea, but the movies just suck, man. Like it doesn't explore that in a proper way. The only guy that calls it out is a whiny little bitch that turns into the ultimate evil guy. It's like, oh yeah, like how are we supposed to feel his side of the story? And like the Jedi became so rigid and like powerful that they became stifling and tyrannical, which is a really cool idea, and it is a straight up fucking idea right out of what's his face, Joseph Campbell. But the execution was dog shit, so it just sucks. Like it's even watching episode 3 the last time, I'm like, honestly, it's only a little better than the other two, and the other two are bad. Mm-hmm. So like fuck, like there's a cool fight scene, but fuck, there was a better one in the first one.
Dude, I can't even every time I have to have a conversation with someone where I'm like, no, Phantom Menace is the worst one. No, I promise it is the worst. I know there's an awesome 3 minutes split up between
bullshit.
Some bullshit.
Yeah.
Yes, I know that's in there, but you cannot look at that and say this is better than Attack of the Clones. Attack of the Clones
Phantom Menace
is actually a better movie, but it's still not good. I'm not saying it's good. It's still really bad.
Attack of the Clones just
really
looks
bad.
really bad. Is the biggest problem.
That it also
It
Phantom
looks
Menace
like
just like
shit.
Phantom Menace is a movie where like nothing
Phantom Menace.
happens for 2 hours.
Phantom Menace is like, it really is like a 1960s like Roger Corman level like plot going on there. It makes no fucking sense.
No, it's super
no one acts
boring.
like a human. At the very least, there is a human element, as stupid as it is, in Attack of the Clones, of this love story in the middle of it. There is something there
About sand.
that makes a little bit of sense.
Yeah.
When Phantom Menace is like, oh, look, there's a lightsaber battle. Isn't that? And it's flashy and it's cool.
Yeah.
That's what makes it better. I'm like, no, it doesn't make it better. Look, they're both trash movies. But, I mean, if I'm going to give them a score, like,
Yeah.
Phantom Menace
Yeah.
is a D-. And Attack of the Clones is a D+. I
Yeah.
cannot.
I mean, you can't. Count Dooku is pretty awesome. Like,
That
That's just Christopher Lee. Like
That was
he could be
Revenge
all,
of the Sith.
yeah, Christopher Lee alone.
Oh, Count Dooku. I'm sorry. Count Dooku. I got you mixed up with Grievous. General Grievous.
Oh no, Grievous is fine.
Grievous is cool, but he's cooler in the cartoon than he is in the movies.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, we
Cartoons
got
they don't count. If it's not the movies, they don't count.
a loser
Everything else
here.
is bullshit.
You put some respect on Gendy Tartakovsky's name right now.
Everything else is
motherfucker.
bullshit.
I don't even know who that is.
Anyway, it's the guy who made Dexter's Lab and Samurai Jack and the original Clone Wars cartoon.
Oh, okay. Well,
It's
he
the
did win
2D one, not the 3D one.
a Grammy for or which one is it? Which one's the one he could have won for Samurai Jack?
Emmy.
Emmy. Yeah, there was an Emmy episode of that. That show's pretty awesome, actually. That
Samurai
show's
Jack's amazing.
sweet.
To go back to the Zelda thing, the
and
reason
it's got
that
the
people
guy.
start-
It's got the sorcerer from Conan the Barbarian as the voiceover. He's the guy who voices the main bad guy. The like old bald guy in Conan. that he finds.
Mako?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know.
He's also an avatar. He's also General Iroh.
he's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. To go back to the Zelda thing, the reason people started liking Wind Waker is because it got such flack when it came out because it had that cartoony style, and following Ocarina of Time.
Yeah. You got the hipster, and it's like, well, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. And
I played it
seeps into the greats.
Here's the thing, A4. I did play it when it was considered not great, and I liked it a lot.
So here's the thing too. It's a good game.
I don't think they were wrong.
It's a good game, but also like, and I've said it before, because its graphic style is so simple and timeless, it's aged a lot better visually than say Twilight Princess. But people shit on it because they wanted something like Twilight Princess after Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, and specifically a 2000 Space World showing, which is like Nintendo's little conference thing, where they showed like a realistic looking fight between Link and Ganondorf. Everyone thought that was going to be the next Zelda, and then you get this cartoon bullshit. So of course they were mad. And the reason people like Majora's Mask is the same reason that people pretend to like Final Fantasy IX, which is they're hipsters and they're wrong. They're just doing it because it's the weird one, and that's the only reason people... Majora's Mask has its merits. Majora's Mask is a cool game, but like everyone who says like Majora's Mask and like Final Fantasy IX are their favorite of those two franchises are just making it up to be like, oh, I like the weird one.
Yeah, they're literally the people that Korn made the song "Freak on a Leash" for.
What?
Yeah, they don't fit in at all.
I guess
anywhere ever. Like they're just weird. Okay. Everyone knows Coming Undone is better.
I was thinking the other day, and I don't think this tracks with everything, but I was like, I kind of do like, whenever I think of like a body of work or a series or something like that, I do generally tend to like the one that's considered the second best as the best. I've just been going through like my head. I'm like, I love Injustice for All. I love Master of Puppets, but Injustice for All is my favorite. And of Stanley Kubrick movies, I'm like, it's not 2001, man. It's Barry Lyndon. Like, and I'm just like, keep on going down the list. And
everyone else is a Watch Mojo.
And like everybody else is a Final Fantasy VII cat. And I'm like, I'm a Final Fantasy VI cat. And I'm like,
there were no cats in Final Fantasy VI. Anyway. There is one in 7, Kate Sith. But
look, there's a one problem with. Here's the problem. Justice for All would win if it had a good instrumental, but it doesn't. That's the one thing that's fucked up. It has more nines than Master does, and it has
I can't remember
the
if
same
I
amount
ranked,
of tens. But the problem is the instrumental. The only instrumental that's worse is the one on Death Magnetic.
Dude, I love having conversations where no one knows what you're talking about with the 9s and 10s and the ratings.
Yeah. We did a Metallica ranking for something we're going to do later.
Oh, I did rank Puppets higher. Okay.
Yeah, it's a more solid album. Now, I do think, and that's like the I've got my scotch and I'm like sitting in my easy chair in my library with my fucking fireplace. I'm like, well, Justice might actually be, I might like it more. But as far as like the ultimate Metallica album, it has to be Master of Puppets. 1, you can hear the bassist. 2, it's overall just more solid. Yes, there's the worst song.
Dude, you gave it 0.1 more on Master. Wow,
it's barely better. It's because of the instrumental. The instrumental is lame on Justice. It's like it's not that good, and everything else is like amazing. Like Short of Straw, that's a 9. Harvester
well, especially like the song
awesome.
composition.
Yeah, the song composition.
It's got that like progressive
weird.
kind of song composition.
Whereas like Orion is fucking awesome.
In like a good way, yeah.
Like Orion is like this build, you know. The other one, it's kind of like the one on the one on Death Magnetic, where it's like just 9 minutes of just hanging out. Like we're just going. I'm like, fuck. The thing that pisses me off.
This is interesting.
The thing that pisses me off about that list that we made is there's a 3-way tie between albums that clearly Death Magnetic is better than the other two, with the 3 newest Metallica albums. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Who made this happen? It's not right.
I think I rated Magnetic better than the other two.
3-way tie?
I think it is a 3-way. Last time I looked,
I don't see a 3-way tie. Someone must have messed with their scores if that's the case.
Oh, okay.
I have Death
No.
Magnetic at third overall.
Yeah, see, you're crazy.
No, that's a great album.
It
That's,
is.
that's
It's
an
a good-
incredibly good album.
I love all but one Metallica album, so I can't kick
Yeah.
you for loving it. But that is insane.
Yeah, it's
Sorry.
not. It's not better than
Every
the
time
Black
I listen
album,
to it,
man.
I'm like, I forgot how much I like it. And again, Black Album's really good. It's just I'm not a fan of the slower pace that they started having
Yeah,
around
what the
that time.
fuck?
Yeah,
What
look
is
at
wrong
that.
with you
Look
people?
at it.
What
It's
the
bullshit. I know.
All right. We might as well just fucking say it. Because we're talking about it for 20 minutes. We're not okay. So we got a multiplayer gaming chat
Yeah.
going on between us and a few of the listeners who
Which isn't even
regularly
named
hop
after
on.
multiplayer. It's named after Metallica now.
Someone changed the name and
because you guys are going to the
we just
concert
left
in
it there.
August or whatever.
Yeah.
So now 5 of us have gone in. I made a fucking chart because we were talking about our Metallica rankings as soon as the new album came out. I made a fucking. I was hearing everybody's albums rankings, and I was just like, you know what? You guys are just being too hard on the new stuff. I don't think you guys are being really that objective because you'll say some songs are awesome. You'll say a lot of the songs are awesome on Reload, but Reload has 12 songs on it, and I don't think you're necessarily being fair with your rankings. That's what my argument was, and I was like, you know what? Okay, this is the most objective thing we can do. Is we get a list of all the Metallica songs and all the albums, and you have to rate each song, where a 10 is a perfect song and a 1 is a piece of shit. So there really only should be one, which is Purify. That would belong on a piece of shit.
The idea is then he made the spreadsheet so that it'll aggregate all the scores for
Yeah.
each song on the album and then give you a score for that album out of 10.
So
average.
what I think surprised me, when I started going through it, is yeah, my rankings on the albums also changed versus what I would have guessed. I would have put the self-titled Metallica as number 2, but in my ratings,
not,
Master of
yeah.
Puppets actually got the higher ratings for me overall. And I realized one ranking is what you feel about an album, and then another ranking is actually the one with the most solid songs that you respect or whatever.
You thought that Black Album was better than Master of Puppets?
When I am listening to Metallica and I feel like putting something on, I am more likely to listen to the self-titled Metallica album than Master of Puppets.
Wow.
Now-
Yeah, but you grew up with that one. That's like a huge nostalgia.
up with
pull,
all
right?
Well, so did I. That was the
Yeah.
big one when I was little.
So it's also the biggest Metallica album. There's no denying that
yeah.
album's power. But
literally
Metallica fans hardly ever talk about it. It's such a bizarre.
It's a pretty good album.
guess-
But come on.
Oh yeah, no, it's fantastic. The problem is that the last 2 songs
Or not that good.
on that
Yeah.
album are kind of throwaway Metallica songs, and they bring down the whole album's rating.
I think the second half of Black Album really falls off for me personally.
I don't know. God That Fails is this third to last song. That's a great song.
No. You're talking second half. You've got Through the Never, which is
Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing Else Matters, which is a 10.
It's a good that's the only good one on
Okay.
that side of the album.
Fuck you. A Wolf and Man's awesome. The God That
That's
Failed is
okay.
awesome.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Then it's My Friend of Misery, which is and then Struggle
great.
Within, which is really
not
not
great.
good. However, Struggle Within has the best 8 seconds of all that album in the bridge when it goes. It is a little bridge riff that's used for 2 seconds. They never reuse it, and it still pisses me off that it's buried in that song. I will listen to that entire song for the one jam. Spot.
My point being that the front
Anyway.
that album is so front loaded with
It
hits.
is, yeah. The front end is huge. It's it's hardwired level.
Yeah, no, I think on
Except
my
you
rankings,
don't
I
get the
think
reward of spit out the bone at the end. You get shit.
When it comes to my ranking, the only of the stuff that I have here objectively by the numbers versus what I would have guessed, I probably would have put the Black Album over Kill 'Em All, which is only a 0.3 difference between the two. I definitely would have Black Album over Kill 'Em All, which that's just how the numbers played out.
Yeah, so thanks to some insane people, This is what Schweiss was talking about earlier. Death Magnetic and Hardware to Self-Destruct are tied. What was the third one you thought it was tied with? Was
The new one.
Ride the Lightning?
No, it was the new one.
Oh, someone rated it lower. So that the new one dropped in its...
Okay.
I still haven't
And
listened to
it's
all of
rating.
72 seasons yet.
I know. You need to finish it so we can be done with this thing. I'm having a hard time listening to Garage Inc., though. Finishing it.
Really?
I'm having a hard time. Well, it's because it's really good.
Oh.
I'm having a hard time, not repeating.
The first disc is fucking amazing.
I know.
I love that
I
thing.
listened to Turn the Page like 30 times. So I'm on like
I've
track
listened
7.
there was like one day where I listened to Astronomy like 5 times when I was doing dominoes. I'm like, I'm just going to listen to Astronomy again
Yeah.
and again. Like just oh man, I love it.
Yeah, it's a really
However,
good.
that off-tune Tuesday's Gone cover that fucking Dr. Roxo loves is I don't get it.
Dude, the one that I've listened to a ton is it's that track it's track 6. What is that one? It's a weird
the Merciful Fate melody or Lover Man.
Lover Man. It's weird, but like
Yeah,
it's
I love
kind
Lover
of
Man.
dark. Like I really love that song. I've listened to it like 10 times, dude. I'm like, this song makes me feel bad about myself. Like it's like a weird exploration of like, I don't know, man. I don't know. It makes me feel like a piece of shit, but it's good though. It's
By the way,
and the original version is awful. The original version, like the part where they do the big drop and he goes into the chorus, the original one sucks. It sounds like shit. It's like a punk chorus, but Metallica brings it soul. It's good, man.
By the way, Fulgrim in the chat says Black Album is like the Armored Core 4 of Metallica. Let's get real, and I do agree.
Yeah, Black Album is
What compared to the? Are we ranking the Armored Core games right now?
Look. Here's what it is.
No, I just thought because
everything
you guys have a problem with Armored Core 4. So.
everything is Metallica. So Game of Thrones is Metallica because season 6 of Game of Thrones is the Black Album. Right? You got the first season that's pretty good, but nobody really thinks of it as all that good. Then you got Ride the Lightning season 2, season 3. Well, I think season 4 is better than 3.
Hold on. Is season 8 Saint Anger?
Yes.
And then the post Saint Anger albums, are they the fucking new show?
Hot D.
Are they fucking Hot D?
I think so, yeah. Where it's like half awesome, half.
Where it's like-
yeah. It's the same, man. Everything's Metallica now. It's like season 6 of Game of Thrones is so good, but it's like you can see the cracks starting. Like you can see, like, oh shit, this is like we're kind of on the top. We're at the peak, and we're gonna fall, man. We're gonna fall hard, and we're gonna fall fast. And then you get Reload would probably be season 7, and then season 8 is Saint Anger for sure. Just a huge disappointment. Like just.
Interesting.
But like
Interesting
you really
idea.
I like the Black Album a lot, and like it's good, but like that's kind of the beginning of them being like, all right, now we're not that band anymore, and it's like the top of the roller coaster, and then it's like woo, and then you're done.
You know what I heard? This was, I thought, super interesting. This isn't that funny, but it was super interesting. I heard an interview with M. Night Shyamalan, who we have all made fun of on this show.
Yeah.
Now, M. Night Shyamalan had his theory as to why artists' careers go the way they do, including his. So his thing was there was a difference between craft and energy. I can't remember the word he used, but I'll say energy. It was like when you're a young artist and you have a bunch of energy and you have no craft. Your art sucks. But there's a certain point in time where you get just enough craft and just enough energy, and that's when your shit hits. And it's it's going great for a while, but then over time, if you don't reinvent yourself, is what he was saying, then the craft takes over and all the soul is gone, all the energy is gone, and eventually you're just you're too good almost, and you can't have that old energy back.
Yeah,
I thought that was an interesting way of
Is he making
putting it.
Is he making the excuse that the reason the last Airbender sucked is because he was too good?
I think
I wouldn't make that comparison.
I would almost guess so. If I were to psychologize, I would guess when you've gone so far, and you can see this with Metallica, you can see there's a bunch of like artists with a long career.
Yeah.
They get bored of their form, and then they start to experiment. And some people hang on, and a lot of their audience fucking hates it. And I think that like Load is an objectively great album, but it's not the same band. Like you can't. So I think people who like want old Metallica listen to Load, and they're like, "This isn't what it is," and therefore like they get mad about it.
It's like if
But
Metallica was gay.
No, I mean I think it's unfair to the artists, frankly, to like put them to a standard of like fucking PepsiCo. They're not PepsiCo. They're human beings making a thing.
PepsiCo had like
They don't even
look,
need
Coke is
like,
better
Metallica,
anyway.
Look,
this is not need to be
PepsiCo
Metallica's
has
job. They are worth so much money. They don't need to make a new thing ever again. They
Look,
have no
Yeah.
reason.
They're
to.
not artists.
So
They're
the
just-
only
they're a
reason
business.
they put something
Yeah.
else, the only
Listen.
reason they put something out is because they want to put something out.
Listen, Joe. Pepsi is good. Pepsi also has Mountain Dew, which I also enjoy.
Pepsi is not.
But like
Metallica,
Load is like if Pepsi put out a can of diarrhea.
Dude,
No, so
Load
there's-
is
and call it a
great.
soda.
I think you're crazy.
It's like the new Coke flavor. Like, oh, this is new Coke. It's
Yeah, it's like if Pepsi put out a diarrhea soda.
Reload has always been the lower album.
Reload has.
It's
you
not
know.
as bad as I thought it was, but it is still down there on my rankings. So, look, I think Joe's right, and I mean Roxo, Roxo messaged. I don't know if it was me or the group when I said, "Man, this album's not that bad," and he said, "Yeah, it really grew on me after a while," because for a long time, he said he hated Load and Reload, but after getting older and listening to it more and more, you don't really hate it. Whereas like with me, my third favorite band, the old Godsmack. Every time I listen to the 2 album ago Godsmack album, I don't remember or like any of it. Like it's not. I don't think it's an album that's ever going to grow on me. Whereas like the Reload and the Load have grown over the years, and like those are the albums that were big when I was a little kid. Like Black Album came out, I think when I was like fucking 9 months old or some shit. So like that one was kind of a thing, and I had listened to it when I was younger. And that's probably the first one because like my parents listened to rock, and so that was the one that they had. So I listened to that one a lot, but like on the radio and stuff, like the ones that were big when I was a kid were Load and Reload, because that was like the Metallica, and everyone, it's similar. I would say mainstream as far as like radios and shit go. They still played like Fuel and all that shit all the time, even if the mega fans of Metallica hated the new sound. And I think that one of the reasons why I think I like Garage Inc. so much, and this is what I was thinking the other day, I was like, I think this is probably when they were the best at being musicians, at like making music. I just don't like that style as much. So like their sound and like James's vocals are really good in like the mid to late 90s. Like really good. Like he's like fucking spot on.
No,
like
he's a great. He had his singing stride right there.
And like Lars is actually good at drumming at that point. Like they're all like really 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 good. But I don't like the music as much as I like, like the Master of Puppets, even the Ride the Lightning, and Justice for All. But I still really like those albums.
I think you can hear it in the Some Kind of Monster documentary, where they're like, during Load and Reload, we could polish anything. That was the attitude they had. They would just have a song idea and they could just spit it out, and they could just. That's why they made 1 million songs in that small period of time. It's like, yeah, we can make anything. We could just polish anything, and that was kind of the attitude they had, and that's kind of like where it was like, I think like just a bunch of craft, and they hit their stride in that rock area like you're talking about. Yeah. And they wanted to experiment. So like, and they did. It's certainly an experiment, St. Anger. But I'm even thinking about like, I think another artist with like a huge long career is like Akira Kurosawa. And here's what kind of gives you hope as an artist, I guess, is like Akira Kurosawa was a regular director, and he got better over like a 10-year period of time. And they had like 2 decades where he was the greatest filmmaker who's ever lived. And then he went and started experimenting. And so he's got like this weird ass fucking movie called Dodescaden. And he's got like a couple other weird ass fucking ones. But then in the 80s, when he was in his 70s, he had 2 fucking masterpieces that came out of fucking nowhere. And so it's like, I don't think it's over when an artist is older. I don't think it is. I think it depends on the artist. Like, and it depends, like, because, like, it's just a person's life. Like,
it might depend on
cycles.
the medium, too, a little bit.
Yeah. It might depend on the medium. And, like, my thing is, like, when one of the Metallica members dies, and fingers crossing, hopefully James does not go first. When James finally does his solo records, and he's doing some, like, bluesy rock, country, old, gravelly man voice, Johnny Cash thing. I am so excited to hear that record. Like, so excited to hear it. Because I just want to hear what that would be, you know?
Yeah. Thankfully, he
from, like,
lost
the
that
old
extra
aged-
weight because he was looking a little
I know.
little
His
chunky
divorce
there for a
fixed him.
minute. Yeah. He got that smoking wife, and now he's good to go, right?
It's a girlfriend. I don't think he's married.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool. And it is kind of like a cool evolution, you know. And it's not that it's... And that's the thing, like, A4, you know, you're more into the like, thrash version of Metallica, and so am I. I think it's definitely better. And that's why I think Spit Out the Bone is, like, one of their best songs they've released in a very, very, very long time. Is because it is, like, perfect.
It's true to form.
It's, like,
Yeah.
amazing.
And they
yeah.
do a great job.
But, you know, I do still like the other stuff, too. And I think that's where you and Jake are kind of more on that side, where it's mostly the thrash, which is my favorite Metallica, no doubt. But
I can appreciate the slower stuff in the ballads. I'm just not big into grunge or country or blues, which is what a lot of Load and Reload
it's
are.
mostly blues, I would say. For like, there's a little bit of grunge, but the grunge is more of the, like, taking forever to finish your words, like, yeah, that he does.
Well, that's,
you know.
It's just it's like, I just feel like those genres are antithetical to thrash. Like, they're way more mellow and slow, and it's like, it's cool that they're experimenting. It just doesn't hit for me in any way whatsoever.
Yeah. Well, they stole the thrash's thunder too. I mean, thrash was like the big deal, and then like Guns N' Roses kind of like robbed thrash a little bit, and then like Nirvana and all that shit just took over.
That was a different
the music
decade. It's
industry.
just, yeah.
They were
I mean,
all. It was all a turnover from glam.
Yeah,
all of those
thank
groups.
God, got rid of that. Yeah. Ugh.
But
But-
anyway,
So anyway, I've been
what have
playing.
you been playing A4?
Yeah.
I've been playing my wife's Son of War, 2018.
My dad or my wife?
No. I meant to say my wife's Son of War.
Oh, okay.
I was going to
see.
say Dad of War, but then I thought my wife's Son of War is a more apt title because
You might as well have said both titles in the row.
I thought it was a more apt title because that kid is clearly the main character of the game. And I don't like him. And I don't know if that's something that's going to go away over the course of this game or the next one.
A4, I'm disappointed in you.
Look, I'm sorry. If I wanted to get bitched at by a petulant child, I would have a kid. But game's good. Game's solid. I like it. It's definitely different, obviously, than the other God of War games. Very tonally and in terms of gameplay, obviously, because they decided to, move the camera. They decided to attach the camera to Kratos' shoulder instead of letting you see anything, which isn't a problem like 95% of the time in that game. But when it's a problem, it's really annoying, and it's just like, I'm really glad they have this cinematic camera angle so I can't see shit when enemies are behind me. They have to put this ring around Kratos to show me where threats are coming from all directions. But I like it so far. It's good. I just got done with the Alfheim part, which is when the kid is maybe at his bitchiest. Thank you, Razer Cortex, for telling me that I can win Diablo 4 for Razer Gold or whatever.
I just
anyway.
bought it. Fuck, too late.
God of War 2018, good game. It's a bit different because of the whole like RPG elements thing with like the gear and whatnot.
Yeah,
I'm not really into that as much. I'd rather just have like big permanent upgrades like in the original games. But I don't know. I get what they were going for with this in terms of the.
I mean, I think
the sort of like incremental.
I think the combat evolution makes sense too because now he's kind of older. And
it's not bad. Don't get me wrong. The combat's cool. I like the way that you can like throw the axe and bring it back, and that opens up a whole lot of cool shit. And you have the skill tree with all your different combos that you can unlock from there. It's really neat.
The next one's got a lot of that. It's pretty.
I'm interested to see where it goes, but I'm glad I played those original games, so I kind of have the context for how this one literally changes the game.
Yeah,
from those original ones.
I mean, that's been. Welcome to
it's very
club.
Yeah, it's very pretty. It's very cinematic. Voice acting's really well done. The music's really good. I still don't know if I'd give it a perfect score, but I mean, I haven't finished yet, so I can't say.
Well, don't worry. You can review bomb the next one for us. I'm counting on you to destroy our scores. Don't let me down.
Look.
I cried in the second game. Fuck you, A4. If you fuck up this score.
I'm not going into the second game. Okay. I'm not going into the second game to review bomb it. I'm also not going into the second game expecting to give it a perfect score like I feel like I need to, because that's called a bias. So I will review it accordingly. So we will see when I get to it.
I don't know what my scores will be until we review it.
I don't either.
Yeah. And then other than that, really, I have been playing a bunch of Street Fighter 6 that just came out. I normally don't really like... I have a frustrating relationship with fighting games because fighting games they have such like a high like skill floor to even be remotely good at them that like they're basically impenetrable. But I don't know, I was like, all right, new Street Fighter's coming out. I have a fucking fight stick right here. I might as well get the damn thing.
I have a frustrating time with people who say frustrating.
As soon as it left my mouth, I was like, I gotta correct. I know. Trust me. Because I also feel that way about people who say frustrating. I don't normally say frustrating. I say frustrating.
Yeah, but, yes. Thank you for rolling your R's for me, please.
It's a very frustrating game. That Street Fighter 6.
Now it just sounds like you guys are saying frustrating to me.
And I realize it's really hard for people who only say frustrating to say frustrating. It must be really frustrating to say the word frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah.
The one that really pisses me off is people who say across, because that's not a word.
Yeah. I think,
but
Alex,
and my wife
what is the one Alex does? She says like, it's something. It's another one of those. And I'm like, why do you do that? It's like I'll get it. It'll come to me.
I say height sometimes.
Ooh, that's a bad
Instead
one.
Of height.
Yeah. So Street Fighter 6 is cool. Although it does, I almost want to show it on stream. The first thing you see in this game is the most like off-putting thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Is it a reflection?
No,
it's a mirror.
You know what? I'm gonna take a gamble here. I'm gonna pull this up on the stream, so you guys can react to this along. So you guys, because I had to see this, so you guys also have to see this at some point.
Yes, the 20 listeners who go through the YouTube channel will really.
Don't worry. The audio people will probably also be able to hear it. At least they'll be able to hear your reactions.
Okay. All right.
So this is the first thing you see when you boot up Street Fighter 6. And I just want to get your raw reactions to this, because like I was sitting here going, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
Street Fighter. Are you a fighter looking for your next challenge? Or just passing through on your journey?
Those are some shoulder pads.
Either way, we're more than happy to have you.
What gender is this character, by the way? Because I still don't know.
Whatever they choose to be.
I thought Kuja was a chick for a very long time. And then I was like, wait a minute, he doesn't have a shirt on.
Whether you want to fight, spectate some matches.
Interesting.
hang out with friends.
Did we get it? Did we get it all? A4? Is there something new here?
No, that's basically it.
Okay,
Just
this is
very, very, very maybe the ugliest character I've ever seen in anything ever.
I don't know. Aloy still exists. I mean,
that's fair.
She looks like
and now Joe's going to get mad
Chris
because
Tucker
that's
from The Fifth Element is what Truth put. Yeah, that's pretty close.
Yeah.
that's not far from that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You were just like, oh my god, I bought one of the woke games. Rip it out of your PlayStation
Look,
throw it in the air and pull out your shotgun that you keep by your side.
Please, Schweiss, I have a PC.
Illegal in
okay, I'm an
Florida.
adult.
Yeah, I shot the whole computer.
I don't actually like a lot of the new character design. Like for the new characters in this game, like a lot of the older characters have kind of new cool designs. I like Cammy's new design. But like there's one that's like a muscle woman and her hair is like in the shape of like a centurion helmet, but she's like your stock standard, like I'm the big muscle woman who's indistinguishable from a dude. And yeah, there's this one guy that's like a drunken master and he's got like eyeliner or whatever, but the game is fun. And I actually am kind of getting into it in a way that like I haven't normally gotten into fighting games before. What I will say is this one's really good at like sort of bringing new players in. And I know that's like every fighting game, but like this one's got a lot of really good tutorials and it's even got like new control schemes to sort of like bring people in that don't normally play the 6-button fighters. Like there's a control scheme that basically just gives you like a light, medium, heavy, and a special button. So that kind of helps sort of bridge the gap between people who've been playing fighting games since the 90s and like new people who are coming in and might not know how to do the fucking crazy, joystick movements and whatnot. It's really fun. It's really cool. There's like a whole story mode in this one too, that you like run around an actual city and go around fighting people and learning from the various characters in the game. And you can sort of mix and match the special moves from them with your created character, which is like also a new thing in this game. And the character creator is like actually pretty robust. It's pretty good. And it all looks pretty good because it's running on the Resident Evil engine. Although I will say the Resident Evil engine is maybe a little misused in this game because like that's an engine that's very good at rendering super realistic shit. If you've played like Monster Hunter or Resident Evil, and then you look at like the goofy ass characters in this with their fucking like size 18 feet and whatever, and it's just a little odd. But I think it looks a little better than Street Fighter V, which everyone kind of had like a weird plasticky look to them in that game. It's cool. If you were going to play Street Fighter 6, you probably already bought it. If you kind of want to get into like a fighting game casually, this is a good game. Just you might want to wait for a sale. I almost guarantee that like by the end of this year, if not like next June, you could probably get this for like $30 on sale somewhere. But it's cool. I like it. I've been playing a lot more of it than I thought I would have, actually.
Well, we know what everybody's been playing, right, Schweiss?
Oh, yeah. But the question now, and the question for all time, anybody beat a game this week? A for...
For once, no.
Oh, wow. What about you, Joe?
Of course. God of War 2.
You mean God of War Ragnarok?
Ragnarok, I mean.
God of War 2
God of
is
War
a PS2
Ragnarok.
game.
No, not from the God of Wars that I don't like. The God of Wars that I do like. God of War Ragnarok.
That does upset me, but I'll let it slide.
Yeah, you know what? It just aged really bad. Maybe the PS3 one, that one probably works just fine, but that original God of War was not. It was fine.
Well, yeah, it was a video game.
It just wasn't my cup of tea, and I just wasn't into it. And
the new God of War is a movie, so you probably like it better.
Here's what I was realizing about it. This is what I really liked about it, because it's not. It has a couple moments where it's like this, but it's not just game cutscene, game cutscene. It's not. It's really fluid, and it's really good in general, outside of some really important scenes, at keeping the game part still within the cutscenes. And in like a non-frustrating kind of, and in a fun way that I really enjoy. What I realize is that something that I really appreciated about Ragnarok, and was probably the same with the 2018 God of War, is that it's so good at keeping your attention because there's always a piece of dialogue going on somewhere. There's always a threat somewhere. There's always like a puzzle somewhere that's always moving forward. So you feel like you're making progress at every minute, and you cannot look away. You cannot check your phone. And I really appreciate that's what I was like. Why is this working so well? Fuck you, A4. Get that smile off your fucking face.
No, I was just laughing because you said there's always
so
a piece
well?
of dialogue going, and that's definitely a case with the first one. Now that I'm playing it too,
I mean, it's going on in this one. So like it's always character based, and it's always like something interesting. Except there are some moments in the second game where they're trying to solve the puzzles for you, and that's kind of like really redundant.
Yeah. Or you're
so
in a really
outside of
hard
that-
fight, and everyone has to have their one-liner as you fall to your death. Careful, brother. Dad. It's like,
that just happened.
Yeah, like, can you people shut the fuck up, man? I'm trying to beat this fight. And it's like, brother. And then fucking Kratos.
No, so I was just like,
I'm gonna
I've been
dip
having,
my nuts in your mouth now. And then
Yeah.
fucking loading screen. I'm like, fucking shut up.
I've been having
What was that,
issues
Donald
just
Duck?
like I've been having issues just playing games over and over and over again for so many years now. If a game is not roping me in, like in
Yeah,
a special
you
way,
don't
I
care about the
really have
story.
problems getting pulled into it because it's no longer something that's unique to me. Like, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but like Final Fantasies, like to play a Final Fantasy used to be an event. And like even if it were a spin-off game, I would probably like read every dialogue and like had an emotional connection to it and like remembered it, even if it wasn't good.
Yeah.
But at this point, it's been so long of so many like games just like dulling my senses basically, and like this God of War is just like it's making me pay attention, and
Well,
it's
it's
really
also-
good at keeping it.
It's
So
also
it's
way
not,
more
if it was
cinematic.
just it's cinematic, but it's like if it was just doing gameplay cutscene, it would be the same as every other fucking game, and I would just pick up the cell phone during the cutscene. But it's not like that. It's super fluid. Like the cutscenes are really short if there's a cutscene, and it goes from gameplay into cutscene, usually has some sort of action moment into it, and it's taking the time like Final Fantasy 15 did, but better, frankly. It's taking the time to let you like get to know all the characters surrounding you that you're in a team with at whatever point in the game. And you're interested. You're way more interested in what's happening, and on top of good writing, and on top of good voice acting, and all these things where it doesn't pull you out of it. So I am just like, this is like, if I were to make a game, I would hope to make like a game like this. Like this is like super narrative driven, but it's also gameplay driven, and it's one and the same. They're not separated really.
Well, because I think that's also helped by the fact that like the first game, and I'm assuming this one too, is all done in like one shot. So
Yeah,
like
it
it
does
basically
the
just
same
moves seamlessly between cutscene and gameplay. Mm-hmm.
But it's also the
really been done
experience
before.
thereof, not just like the visual aspect of it, but your actual like you're moving. The character will take on for just a moment, and then you're back in like you gotta like do a button mash or something at a certain time in order to do an action or something, and it still is continuing. Like it keeps you. The cutscene goes on just as long as it needs to. Like there's
It's
some
engaging.
there's some like really important dramatic cutscenes where you're watching for 3 minutes, 4 minutes, but yeah, and also the story's good, so you're also roped in to that, and so that's nice. So I don't know. I love these two God of War games. I will give it positive scores, believe me. And I did not. As soon as I started, I was like, I could play this all day. And I know it. And unfortunately, I have to beat this for a podcast, and I'm going to just race through the story as fast as possible. But I wanted to keep playing because the gameplay is also really fucking good, too. And you get like more of the world and more of the story and more of the characters. So, yeah, I was blown away by my experience with that.
What I'm noticing with this first one too, and I'm sure this is something that's been in an interview or whatever, but it in terms of the gameplay, when it comes to like exploration, it doesn't allow for like too much exploration, but it does have that thing that like Dark Souls does or like the Soulsborne games do. Soulsborne's games does, where you have like these little loops in these tiny little loops within the environment that'll lead you back to like an earlier area. Just sort of little shortcuts here and there. And like the Soulsborne games are really good at doing that, where you'll have like a little side area that sort of leads you back to the main area.
Yeah, I mean, I
feels
think,
super satisfying.
Yeah, and then there's also, like there was like a little island in God of War 4 where I got there and I seriously spent like an hour on this little island because there was like so much little things to do. And we're talking like, I don't know, like it's probably the size of the floor space of my house. Not very big at all. And it's, I've got like a fight, I've got like 3 puzzles, I've got a hidden treasure, I've got like some shit to find. Like it's like the whole world is just packed with all this little stuff to do.
Yeah.
And it's not
everything about it is fun or interesting.
And it's not like horse shit like most open world games like Horizon, where it's like, all right, climb the tall tower. Okay, now you can see all these little landmarks. Now there's 10,000 landmarks and 7 million fucking collectibles to get. It's not like
it's
that
a lot
either.
more.
It's not.
It's a lot more dense.
Yeah, it's not.
Like there's less
the
of it.
Quantity.
It's a lot more concentrated. There's less of it, but it's way more concentrated than something like an Ubisoft open world game like a Far Cry.
It's like a perfect mix with that, and it's like it's good exploration. Mm-hmm. Now the characters don't ever shut the fuck up, which is part of what makes it good, but it's also what makes it really agitating when you're getting your ass kicked.
That and like I'm playing the
didn't bother me.
I'm playing the Alfheim part, and there's a part of the Alfheim part where Kratos has to like walk into some light, and then like he's in there for what feels like 10 seconds, but according to the kid, because there's like enemies out there, he's like, I'll only be gone for a minute, and the kid's pulls you out, and he's surrounded by all these corpses, and he's like, you were gone for a long time, and it's like, and then you spend the whole rest of that time going through and like I'm exploring everything, so I'm just sitting in here, and this kid's just mad at me the whole time, and I'm just sitting there, and they won't shut the fuck up to each other. But I'm just like sitting there, like, just talk, like, just say you were only in there for like a few minutes in your perspective. Fuck, like, I get why you're doing this for narrative purposes, but Jesus Christ, this isn't how. It's just it's annoying when it's just like I just have this sulky kid, just like, you don't really care about me, and it's like not now. I don't know actually.
Yeah,
boy,
he's less sulky in the next one.
Good. So. Jesus Christ. And I get it because he's a kid, but it's also like, fuck, I don't want that in my video games. I can get that in real life.
Can you?
Probably, yeah. Most kids, most teenage...
Jesus.
Hopefully someday, yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
No, I don't give a fuck. It's just like... I totally steamrolled your joke for a second there. It's just...
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that'll be fun to review that. Wait, what? I don't know what Zach's been doing. I know he said he finished something. Wasn't it Live Alive?
No, he said he finished.
There you go. Whoever in the chat said there was no Live Alive joke earlier, you finally got it.
Yeah, don't worry, it's coming.
He said he finished a part of Live Alive. He has not finished Live Alive that I'm aware of.
Is that how he pronounced it in the message, or did he say Live Alive?
I don't know. It's hard to see.
What's the Spanish? What's the Spanish word for live?
Vivir.
Vivir. Viva. Oh, like viva. Oh, I get it. Because like vida means life, right?
Yes.
Right? Vita means life. Yeah.
Vitality.
Oh man, look at all the dust on my. Look at all the fucking dust on my Vita.
Yeah,
dude.
that gets great. That gets playtime. Right there.
That's right.
Unlike the Switch that's currently propping up your modem, right?
Yeah, so...
you mean the one that's right here in the dock that I have...
Yeah, of course you
So I was excited
all set up.
I was excited to finish Nude Clan in 6 months, but you motherfuckers are just making sure that we drag this out as long as possible. Let's keep the corpse going, guys.
Yeah.
Keep on pumping it filled with blood.
I'm trying to play through...
Keep the blood transfusions going. Eventually it will die a sweet death.
I had to play through God of War 2018 so I could properly review God of War Ragnarok, so I could properly review Bomb Ragnarok. And in order to do that, I had to play through the first 3 games to have the proper context. So I'm doing
Halo
the work.
Infinite?
Yeah, Halo Infinite's coming. Halo
that should be first. That should be,
Yeah, I know. That'll be next week. Are you sure? Zach's got to beat it too.
Okay.
Is he
I'll have
on
it
his
done by
way?
next
Is he
week.
on his way back? Is he coming back? Like
Tonight,
when's he-
apparently.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
he's on the plane back. Yeah.
Okay, good.
I will have Halo Infinite beaten by next week. Whether
Good.
Zach
I beat
does
it-
or not
I
is
beat it
not my
weeks ago.
prerogative.
I gave the Xbox
Hey-
back. I'm not doing multiplayer.
Halo Infinite is an optional one. Zach does not have to do that one.
Oh, okay. Well,
You
that's
know,
fine.
you know, Schweiss.
He
you
doesn't
don't
have to do
play.
Ragnarok either.
You don't have to play multiplayer on the Xbox. It is on PC, and the multiplayer is free on Steam.
Yeah, I'm
Just
not.
saying.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. I was gonna say I'm
Yes,
not buying
actually.
it. I'm not gonna pay for this game.
No,
Again.
it's free on Steam. The multiplayer
All right,
part.
Maybe I'll play. Maybe I'll.
We've all played it. Like me, Zach, and Cam, and Craig have all played it before.
I don't know who those last two people are, but that sounds like a good
Deserters.
fun.
Yeah.
They have a traitorous tone to their name. That's-
Should I just beat all my Nude Clan games? Should I just destroy my life for a couple weeks? Just beat all my Nude Clan
Truth
games?
Seek asks Joe, did you just make the Trello board for yourself? And yeah, kind of. Not by
no.
choice.
It's to keep track. I don't want to have. Here's the deal, man. Here's the deal. Truth Seek. Okay. I am surrounded by the least organized people on this fucking planet. So, if I come up with a list, a system, anything to help anyone do any task related to the podcast, go fuck yourselves, you little motherfuckers.
I have to
you
pee,
fuck
and I thought it'd be funny
Fucking
if I
you
got up
both
when he
left,
did.
you shits. Schweiss just coming up out of camera, and you were fucking leaving. For anybody
I had to
listening to this
pee.
thing on the podcast,
I have to pee, and I was like, you know, it'd be funny. Schweiss just got him. What if I also got him
Anyway.
at the same time while Joe's rant? I'll stay.
So
until he
here's
comes
the
back.
deal. Here's the deal. I was like, we're using Trello at work, and I'm like, fuck, I could do this for my personal life. Then I started using it for my personal life. I was like, we have a bunch of games to beat, and I'm sick of people going like, what's the game? What's next? What the?
Is that what you think we sound like?
Yeah, a little bit. That's what it starts
Wow.
to sound like after a minute. And and so I was like, you know what? I'll make this easy. We got a list of games. We don't have to have a Word document. It doesn't have to be like, oh, just scroll in our 9-hour chat and see if you could find the answer to who won what game or whatever. Check on Patreon. It's like none of that shit. We're going to have a Trello board. You're going to have your name. It's going to be like what the fucking next thing is on your list. And when you're done, you take the card and you drag it to the done pile. And then your list moves up from there. So I thought it was a good solution. I think it has been a good solution. But
It has.
as far as everybody using the Trello board, everybody is actually using it. Now, as far as who's actually beating all their games, at this point, in the last couple months, there's only been one person beating all their games. Quickly.
I've been beating a lot of games.
And that's
I just
me.
have been doing that to also beat the games that I have to beat.
So,
Now,
I
I'm gonna
disagree.
Schweiss is back from wherever he was.
Mega piss. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I had to.
Mega piss.
Yeah. So
Okay.
the Trello board it's another one of those Joe things that Joe is like, we all need to do this, and then no one else does. I actually do like it. I use it. I'm just not cranking out as many games as you are in it.
Yeah, that was my
So.
point, actually. People are using the Trello board, but I'm the only one who's, beat games recently, so I'm the only one moving fucking cards from the piles. You know?
mean, I beat Ragnarok and I beat Halo Infinite, and those two are ready to review. We're just waiting on these guys. So, and I don't even
It's
know if Zach started Ragnarok or played. I mean, he might have started it, but I don't know. If
No, he
played
started
very
it
far.
months ago. He started
Okay.
it. And then he stopped to play other games for the show.
Well, so did I. I did the same thing. I started
Yeah.
it when it came out.
You guys both did the same thing in that respect. I don't know how far Zach got in God of War 2 Ragnarok, but whatever. Whose fucking dog is barking? Is that yours?
I don't know. It's either mine or the neighbors. But
I mean,
annoying.
it's... Okay, so that is in your real world?
Yeah, it's here.
I
It's
wasn't
here.
sure if it was in A4's apartment,
No,
because he also has a dog.
that's my side.
No, man, I'm so... I'm
Yeah?
scared, Schweiss. I'm scared.
About what?
I'm scared to be waiting on you. I'm not yet. I'm not waiting on you yet.
No.
You're waiting on me, technically.
For what?
But for Ocarina of Time, you're ahead of me.
Yeah, I'm ahead of you, but if you're playing 9 hours a day, you're going to fucking be done.
I'm not playing 9 hours a day. That's impossible for me to play 9 hours a day. I'm marathon training, and I'm busy a lot on the weekends.
I mean, if we can knock out one more before 16, we can let these guys catch up, right? And then we'll be burning 16. And then once we're done with that, we review 16, then we go back to Nude Clan, hopefully. Because I'd rather get Nude Clan done. Because I do like the idea of the 10-year anniversary of Ultima. We're caught up and like done, you know. But that's
I want to beat it ASAP.
That's going to take a lot.
And then you could put the episode out on the 10th anniversary. But no, it will take a lot. But I'm pretty hell-bent on making this thing happen as soon as possible.
Yeah, I mean, it's... And look, guys, this isn't us being miserable doing the show. Like, I love doing shows. It's just the Nude Clan... The problem with Nude Clan is it doesn't have an end date unless we say so. And now we've said so.
Yeah.
And so now it's like, well, let's make it happen. And Ultima has an end date, but it's a continuing show. So whenever something new comes out, I mean, we'll play it.
Yeah, it makes the list longer.
Yeah. But like when 17 comes out or 7 Remake Part 2 or whatever, after we're done, like we'll go back. But that's a kind of a nice treat, you know? It's a treat now. It's like, oh, cool. Let's dust off the old podcast and, crank out an episode on this new game.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to a daunting list of time and effort that it'll sap from you.
No, but anyway, I'm pumping through these things pretty fast. Like,
yeah,
I could have beat God of War a week earlier than I did, but I would have had to make some dumb life decisions in order to do that.
Yeah, and don't think that we're done doing pods per se either.
No,
we're not trying to rush our way into the unemployment line for podcasters. We're just trying to move on to the next evolution.
The unemployment line for podcasters is just podcasting.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
That's true. I don't know. I think Zach is making sure that Nude Clan sticks around for another 2 years.
Which is hilarious because he's easily the least freaking, the least, how do I put it? The one who wants to do it the least. He's just here to have a good time.
Yeah.
What the fuck? I think it's a service dog at whatever casino A4 is at.
Someone's dog was barking somewhere.
Oh, I think it was Schweiss's.
Okay.
Yeah. A4's a little casino in there. Nice.
Sorry that I have interior design fucking...
I do think this is what's scaring me. Schweiss has 3 long-ass games when I had 3 shorter games. So that's why I have way less games to beat. It's because I had front-loaded a bunch of short games, and then Schweiss, when it comes to like lining us up for UFF, he's got fucking Majora's Mask, Knights of the Old Republic, and Shin Megami Tensei 3.
I don't think Majora's Mask is that long.
When I've been texting you, Schweiss, like, where are you? That's what I'm afraid of. I'm like, you should get a move on some of these long motherfuckers. Like, if you got the time, put them in, brah.
Yeah, I mean, it would be awesome. We have, 20... Shit, it's coming out in like 17 days, huh? 16? 22nd?
Yeah.
Isn't that right? 22nd, something like
22nd.
That? Fuck, dude. Like... I was thinking, in my mind, I was like, I could do Ocarina and Majora's Mask before 16 comes out. Now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, I don't know about that.
Nah, I don't think so. I think it's just going to be Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
So,
which also isn't a super long game.
They're upper 20s.
Anything over 20 hours, A4, for calling that a long game.
Look, I don't know what the number on how long to beat is. As a child, I don't remember Ocarina of Time being a super duper long game.
You know where the number is listed for everybody very conveniently? Besides howlongtobeat.com?
Where would that be, Joe?
Trello. Trello.com.
What is that?
Is that like a breakfast cereal?
Trellios.
26 hours.
Is that one of your gay clubs?
26.5 hours is what Ocarina of Time is listed. Now, however, God of War was also at 26 hours, and I beat it in 22. But then again, Super Metroid was also an 8-hour game that I'm sorry, a 25-hour game that I beat in 8 hours, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
one
like
of those
12 hours
games.
for me, and I beat it in like 7 something and change.
Yeah. So
Truthseek says you should have a contest to predict when Joe loses it on Schweiss not finishing a game. Honestly, at this point, I think Zach is the one we have to worry about.
Yeah, he's
I
the one
mean-
we're waiting on the most.
For now. But Schweiss and I have to do another podcast.
Yeah.
Because Schweiss,
time.
well, because Zach is always like doing real stuff. He's like, I gotta take my girlfriend to another country and go on vacation, or I gotta play Pokemon.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's what I've had to do. Like, I've had to finish my movie, and like whenever a movie thing comes up, I can't play that night. And then the girlfriend's a real time sink, guys. Being in a relationship is like kind of like not great for video gaming.
Yeah, it sucks.
Like, there are other benefits for sure, but
Yeah.
you don't get these games
Like
done.
what?
Ocarina doesn't.
Because you
Ocarina
can.
doesn't play with my balls in quite the same way. So
I don't know, dude. I don't know. You ever seen that Queen Ruto? And when she's grown up in the adult timeline, she is a fine woman.
the one that
She got
I
some
thought,
gills.
the one that I thought was pretty, like, I was like, whoa, it was like the Queen Fairy or something. I was like,
Oh my god, she's horrifying. What are you talking about? She comes out with like her horrifying face, and she's like, ah! She's scary, dude.
she's got a nice body as far as like 64 graphics.
Yeah, you gotta put like 6 paper bags over that face though.
Well, I
And
mean,
with all those dreadlocks, that ain't happening that easily.
yeah, I mean, she's a screamer. You know, that's clear. That much is clear.
The older sister in the Romani Ranch in Majora's Mask is also a fine piece of ace. Zelda's got some good honeys in him.
Yeah, including Zelda. I mean, not so much in Ocarina. She's like a kid, but
Wait till you
later
get to the
ones.
adult timeline.
yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I'll play it. I'll play it.
Pull
I'll
her up on. Yeah, why am I not pulling up the Great Fairy on stream?
I don't
She's
know, man.
horrifying.
I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Man.
Come on,
Hey,
man.
somehow we filled up the time, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We don't
didn't
even need to answer an After Dark question.
Yeah, amazing. And so all the ones that
Yeah.
we asked for on the.
This is literally nightmare inducing. What are you talking about?
I mean, it was more the shapeliness of the.
She's definitely thick in Breath of the Wild. That's
hey,
for
yeah,
damn sure.
She's not. This was before modern times. So no.
Where they had to make everyone fat.
Yeah. No, I don't know, man. Yeah, the face is horrifying. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
It's the body. I was like, man, she's like almost naked in this thing.
I love a good triangle-shaped body.
Yeah, I love that triangular ass.
Oh, I love
man, you
love
gotta-
a woman with good angles.
No, you got to go with Ruto, man. She got the water wings. She got gills.
Yeah.
She's
That's
got
what we're talking about.
she's got the shoulders of a linebacker in that image.
She's hitting those 80s on that shoulder press. Fucking tank. She needs someone. You need her to take someone out. She can fuck them up and then take them deep sea diving.
Yeah, dude.
Well, and I mean, Schweiss was talking 6 months ago or whatever about age not mattering or age just being a number, and it's like
God.
you got
Don't
Saria, and she's part of the forest tribe, and they literally never grow up. So I mean, she's probably like 175. So I mean, you're good to go there too, buddy.
Whatever, man. You're the one that watches all the anime, not me.
Yes, but I don't have a retort for that. So you're just correct. I watch all the anime.
Yeah.
Wow. 2/3 of the Nude Clan podcast hosts questionable.
Pedo.
Questionable with their pedophilia practices.
Yeah.
Which two? One
Practices.
can only guess.
Practices, motherfucker. It's a lifestyle. This shit shows me.
Yeah. He can't control it. Is it fair for you to force him to control his natural urges, Joe?
Yeah, I was born this way, Joe.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
It's Pride Month, man. Come on. Everyone's got to be accepting.
Not everyone.
No comment.
Not everybody.
Anyway, Zelda has some good... Everyone's going nuts over Pura, however you pronounce that, in the
No idea.
in the Breath of the Wild sequel, which I'd pull up Google image results of her, but I'm fairly certain I'll just get porn, so I'm not going to do that.
Tears of the Kingdom. Tears?
Yeah.
Is it tears or tears?
It's tears.
Is anyone actually crying, or is anything being ripped up, or is it... I need confirmation.
I'm still barely like an hour or two into that game. I've not had a lot of time to play it, so
No,
I can't
'cause
tell you.
I believe you got to play Halo Infinite, God of War 2, Ragnarok, Ocarina of Time, Grandia 2, Twilight Princess, Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne, and then Conan Exiles. Before
Man,
you could
I
ever
can't,
touch that game.
I can't wait until we play Conan again.
I can touch it
Holy
right
shit.
now. Where's my Joy-Con?
Dude, I'm excited for some Conan Exiles. I'm trying to so once a month, or once a week, sorry. Let's not do it once a month. Once a week, every Tuesday night, we get on there at 10 p.m. and play around for 3
I think
hours.
the gameplay sessions will
Excited.
sort of increase once we actually have to play Conan Exiles and sort of come together to beat a game. Because that's what happened when we were playing Phasmophobia and Devour and Pacify and stuff like that. I mean, you
Yeah.
guys were playing a Halo Infinite co-op, so
Yeah,
you
it
make
was...
the time when you need to do the game.
Yep. You take the Sunday night that was once sacred between you and the wife, and you just say, nah. Sorry, you got to beat this game.
The Sunday
Once
night is now
sacred.
sacred between me and a certain Wonder Bread aficionado, so it's not going to work for me. But
Yeah, that used to be me. I thought I was your Wonder Bread man. I literally worked for
you
these
don't
fucking
commission me
people.
to draw art of women cutting down trees and buying copious amounts of Wonder Bread. So I mean, once you start doing
Yeah, but
that,
I
maybe we can
sold
start-
copious amounts of Wonder Bread.
Yeah, but how many forests have you destroyed? Exactly.
Not enough, apparently.
Okay, yeah.
But I sold a shitload of Wonder Bread. Okay, tell him to get on my level. But he can't because it's gone now. So
He just
he's-
got his own trading card, actually. There was some guy who's making trading cards, and he made one for him of a blonde lady with a chainsaw on a pile of Wonder Bread. And he sent it to him for his birthday, which was a couple weeks ago. And I'm
Nice.
like, that rules.
Look, I'm gonna do nothing but play these games in a row, and you guys can just catch up to me. And I will be gone. I'll be in another fucking country when you guys finally get around to playing fucking Twilight Princess.
Hold on. Darth Destroyer actually makes a good point. Joe did the thing in the poster where Uncle Sam wants you to join the army. Can A4 make a poster with Uncle Joe wants you to finish your fucking Nude Clan games on time? Yes, I can.
That's a good idea.
That would be, yeah.
Send it to Zach every Monday. Just
Yeah.
Buy him
put
a
it in the
shirt.
mail.
What do we do when we're waiting, though? Do we just do... I mean, we have all
We
those
masturbate.
movies. We have all those movies to watch, I
What?
guess.
We masturbate?
What do you do when you have nothing to do?
I thought you were asking. I thought you were answering Truth Seek's question of how do you guys celebrate Pride Month. I have heterosexual sex with my wife.
Yeah, I just...
In between sucking dicks, but that's
Yeah.
that's a weekend thing. It's whatever.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah,
really...
what's the difference? Yeah, that's not. That's not any different than any other month.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that
exactly.
doesn't count. That doesn't count. Yeah.
I'm just doing it to show that I don't like it, okay? Because how can you say you don't like something if you've never done it before? So I suck dicks every Tuesday night behind the Applebee's to prove that I don't like doing it.
Yeah, otherwise it'd be
just
5
wanna
days
make
a week,
sure.
8 hours
I
a
just
day.
want to make sure.
You just want to make sure you're straight.
Yeah, exactly. Every time I go, "Bleh, God, this sucks. All right, see
Yeah.
you next week, Frank.
Every time you vomit on a dick,
I don't, Joe.
You
I'm a
realize you don't
professional.
like it.
I am a professional. I do not vomit on any of those dicks. Okay, I vomit after I swallow the cum shot like a professional whore. Okay.
At the end of the night, you just empty. Just fucking it just comes out like someone made a big old someone made Jello in a can. It's just like.
Did you hear about that Did you hear about that A4? He sucked so many dicks they had to pump his stomach full of cum.
Yeah, it comes out like it's like
fucking vanilla pudding.
no.
Have you never?
No, it's canned cranberries at Thanksgiving. It comes out and it's just shaped
God,
like
just a cylinder.
just like a. and then a big old splot. And it lands, and you think it's going to explode, but it keeps
comes
its
out.
form. It's like
It comes out like a can of spam, just with all the gunk on the side, like all the spam gunk.
lands in one solid thing, and it rocks back and forth. And you think it's gonna break, but it doesn't. Solid. Yeah. Woo. Oh man, that makes me feel sick.
Good thing we kept that bit going for a solid 2 minutes.
Yeah. It just smells like the stuff that's in the fucking can.
So anyway, if you guys want to get your dick sucked, come back behind the Applebee's in Shrewsbury every Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Is that an offer, A4? Could someone...
You better be there.
I didn't say it for fun, Joe. What do you think this is, a comedy show?
If I fly out there and you're not there, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah.
I'm going to be pissed, dude. I spent $500 on a blowjob. I demand...
No, the blowjob's free. You just got to fly out here. No, Fulgrim
Yeah.
in the chat says canned Manchowder.
Oh.
Okay, well, that's the name of the episode.
Yeah,
so.
it puts a whole new spin on the old Manwich cans, right?
Have you had the Old Bay clam chowder that Campbell's Chunky has now? It's pretty good.
I don't like clam chowder that much.
Why?
It's
It
not.
reminds him of his college days.
Yeah. I just clam. I don't know. Clam chowder.
The clams.
You're too far from the coast. That's probably why you're
I
not
mean-
accustomed to the taste of clam.
I love
I just
clam chowder.
I don't know if I could do it in a can. Like, it's one of those things, like, I've had really fresh fish, and so, like, a can of tuna just smells horrendous. And, like, fresh tuna doesn't really smell like that, so, like, I know that, and then when I open it, I know that there's something wrong, you know? And that's how...
Probably just ferments a little bit in the canning process.
Yeah, but, like, I don't like fermented meat. I like fermented wheat, but not fermented meat.
I was hoping you could pull a rhyme out of that. You did not disappoint me.
Yeah, you're welcome. But like, I don't know. Maybe I'll try clam chowder again. Nobody else in this house will eat it, so that's one meal that I can set aside and no one will touch.
Fulgrim says, "Don't worry, it also comes in Freezy Pop shape too, behind the Applebee's on Tuesdays."
Yeah,
just go behind the Applebee's in Queen Avenue in Shrewsbury. You're good to go.
Man, they're gonna like pinpoint your location.
No, I'm just making this shit up. I'm not going to give my actual fucking town name on the show.
Well, don't you live in?
Philadelphia.
No, if it was Philadelphia, it'd be impossible to find.
You're saying Philadelphia like it's the secret town that no one's heard of.
Yeah,
Philadelphia?
Yeah, I live in Philadelphia. Come find me.
yeah.
Dude, I saw a YouTube video where a guy was going through that like crack town you guys have up in Pennsylvania.
What, in Philadelphia?
Might have been part of Philadelphia. Oh,
Probably
I turned my
was.
phone off. I can't find it. That was worse looking than fucking Skid Row in L.A.
Yeah, it's not great.
Damn.
I have not been to Philly. Well, no, I was at Philly a couple months ago, but I barely went in the city. Like, the venue that we went to was like right as you get in the city. I'm going to see a metal show in a couple weeks in Philly.
You gonna
where
pick
I
up
will
some
have to drive
fentanyl
in.
while you're in there?
I'll see what I can find.
Are you gonna have a
don't know.
choice?
Yeah, really.
Yeah, it's in the
I touch a
water.
doorknob and I'm like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
Well,
Get out of the cities, kids.
yeah. Joe definitely did.
Didn't want to, but yeah, I did. Look, everywhere is nice if you're in a nice neighborhood.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
everywhere's Joe from Nude Clan says everywhere's great to live as long as it's gentrified.
Everywhere's nice as long as it's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, it's not like there are nice areas of Detroit. There are nice areas of Chicago. There are places with no crime in those towns.
Yeah.
Right, but
But
statistically,
you
you're not
have
going to
to
be
be-
in one of
yeah.
those places.
You do have to have already lived there, thankfully, or are rich.
Yeah.
Every place is great when you're rich. Every single
Yes.
town in the United States.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a wise nugget of wisdom.
You're welcome.
Hey, if you have enough money, you don't have to worry about crime.
I know, but there's a whole lot of like, oh, it's a shithole. It's like, well, you know.
Honestly, as someone who lived in arguably the nicest part of Philly when I was in college, and this was like before things got way worse, Philly's still a shithole even when it's really nice. So that might just be Philly, but I mean,
there is a general sense of depression when you go to the East Coast, when you're from the West Coast. And you're
You
like,
guys
why
lived
is
in Newark.
everything
That doesn't
so
count.
gray here?
Yeah.
Everything's
Doesn't
so
count.
gray and green. The trees are covering up the views. Like, how
You
can
went
you
to the
not,
fucking-
How can you not feel depressed? No,
you went to the town
A4.
from
I've
fucking
been-
Sopranos.
A4. You see that map back there? It has everywhere I've been in the United States.
I don't see a lot of East Coast dots on that map.
There's plenty of East Coast dots.
Name 3.
There's New York, Maine, New Jersey, New Hampshire,
naming
Pennsylvania, Massachusetts.
I want exact addresses right now.
Drove through them and stayed in a few cities over there.
Oh yeah, no. Fulgrim is right in the chat. I would not want to be in upstate New York during.
It's
wintertime.
beautiful. Oh, not during wintertime, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, wintertime, we went to KupoCon in New York City. I can't imagine upstate would be any better, really. And that was fucking
wintertime?
freezing.
Yeah, it was cold. Yeah, one of
Was
them
that the time I was there, or was that the time before?
No, that was the summer.
No.
That was miserable in another way.
Right, because you were drinking the air, but
Yeah, I was drowning as I breathed. Every breath I took was closer and closer to death.
Every breath I took.
Yeah.
All right. We got to be done. Let's finish. Let's
we've had
hopefully
too
have
many
a fucking
blowjob
review.
jokes for.
Yeah. And
One episode.
I don't take, you know what? There's nothing funny about blowjobs. Okay?
Very serious work.
Yeah.
Oh, you know
very
what?
serious work.
Speaking of, you know what that irritates me to no end? Like whenever Alex
Tell me
is,
about what.
when
oh my
Alex
God,
is
whoa.
listening to when she's listening to a podcast and they describe like prostitutes from like the 1800s and they insist on calling them sex workers. I'm like fucking don't do that. It just bothers the shit out of me to put like
You have to call them harlots or
Yeah.
like tramps or strumpets.
I'm like, that strumpet is a great word. That's an awesome
Yeah.
word. Like, but
Yeah.
sex work? I'm like, they're like, oh, these sex workers were murdered by Jack the Ripper. I'm like, they're not fucking sex workers. They were prostitutes, man. Like, I hate putting modern sensibilities on.
Well, I mean, what do you call a postal? Like, what do you call the mailman? Or I
the
guess
mailman.
The
Postal-
Pony Express.
Yeah,
Yeah, we don't call the mailman a fucking like
You don't just
postal
have
worker.
you don't just have a general term for people who are in the like mail trade, do you?
No,
Mailman.
just postal workers, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's
I guess
delivery drivers, there's FedEx people, there's UPS people, there's
they're all mailmen.
the mailman.
yeah,
is,
you think they're all mailmen? Well, then in that case, that proves it wrong. I guess you could call them all sex workers, but my thing was like,
But that's more
prostitute was-
syllables. It's easier to call them whores.
Prostitute was specific to what a prostitute is,
Yeah.
versus like a stripper. A stripper is not a prostitute, but they're both working in the sex trade.
Yeah, or like someone with an OnlyFans. Like,
Yeah,
do I judge
Okay,
them? Yeah,
hold on.
but like,
Hold on.
it's not the same.
Fulgrim had a good one in the chat. He said "Ladies of the Night," which is a really good one. And then he also, Fulgrim, he or she says, "My wife calls our mailman the Bull. He seems pretty cool."
Yeah, that's not an official title. It's,
yeah. But Schweiss, if we're talking about blowjobs, then you go, you know what pisses me off? My wife, and then you don't go faster than that.
yeah.
That's what I was reacting to. I was like, whoa,
You're
whoa,
just mad that you
whoa,
can't-
Whoa. I don't
Just
need
mad
to
that you
know
can't
any
make
of this.
you can't make your semen taste like maple syrup.
Yeah, I could actually. I bet you if I took that stuff, it would. I bet you it would. man.
Make your semen taste like clam chowder.
Yeah.
Throw
And,
some
like, have
saltine
the-
crackers in there.
Have the same consistency too, just like chunky
Yeah.
occasionally, like big old globs of clam.
Ugh, God, you got really big semen, dude.
I know.
Really big sperm, I should say, not semen.
You just so many memories.
Huge sperm, huge semen. So, thanks for hanging out. Oh, the one liner I had was Olive Garden. When you hear your family, when you're home, you're shitting your brains out. That was my good one.
Nice.
Okay.
Okay.
Or the ba 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 ba. I'm liquid shits. I don't know.
Fulgrim said there was definitely a chunk when I was 12. Chalked it up to breaking the seal.
Yeah. Yeah. Just wait till you.
True said you saved that line.
Yeah. Hey, I thought it was pretty good.
You have it like written down like you're fucking Arthur Fleck or whatever his name is in the Joker movie. You think you're just killing.
Yeah.
Everyone's just like, what?
Yeah. When you hear your family, when you're home, you're shitting your brains out. I don't know.
Then you're just laughing uncontrollably on stage while the whole club is silent.
Yeah. I mean, I've definitely had better lines, but
Fuck, man.
All right. Fucking end it! Jesus Christ!
Thanks for hanging out, guys. Until next time, live always in the nude.
Walk with your canned Manchowder held high.
Oh, fuck.
Yourself, give up on the world.
Every puzzle has an answer.
You dumbass. Kick logic out and do the impossible. Remember that.
I'm glad I met you guys. You made me pick up on things I probably would have just gone on ignoring.
Don't believe in yourself. Believe in me. Believe in the Kamina who believes in you. Everybody deals with grief differently, right? Some people fuck at funerals. I cut off heads.